Trying to raise the sense of urgency around climate change. You seem serious and committed to me.
I'm excited to bring.
What up's Rufflections? I am not a bigot. I am ready to save the planet by doing exactly what the big banks tell the TV screens to tell us to do. I feel so empowered on my #vegan journey. Join us as we chant empty slogans for #climate action written by PR firms. We need to save the earth and demand a global totalitarian technocratic government run by big finance and the Fortune 100. Our house is on fire and we need the nice grown-up government to take everyone's land and resources and ration us delicious, sustainable, nutrient-fortified vegan kibble. This is an emergency. Mommy Earth is crying so sad because she wants the mean grown-ups to give poor little 16-year-old human shield Greta her future back.
Do you have anything to add to these debates about just, in particular, the idea that it's kind of too expensive to deal with climate change?
I mean, it is... The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean...
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicides and was working alone. Veganism is desirable and fun and make me smile big happy on my insides. I do not hate children. I am not a science denier. I do like science. To fix the #climate crisis we need to sterilize ourselves, starve ourselves, eat babies and grandma and move to a social engineered #smart city to save the earth. There is no time to examine the inconsistencies in our claims or actions or the billions of dollars being leveraged to brainwash us into thinking we want this. We want #climate action now and a #plant-based food system of sustainable fortified kibble. We are not being used. We are truly empowered and full of energy that we are using constructively. We are so empowered and not deceived.
We all share the same values, so we just need to align those values with our actions and join forces. We all want the same thing. We want to see an Earth in the next 50 years.
The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean... There's something we are not lacking in this world, it's money. And I mean, of course, many people do lack money, but I mean, governments and these people in power, they do not lack money.
Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Remember, if we can save the banks, we can save the world, you guys. We got a bunch of people in the chat. What's happening, guys? How's that intro? I was going to make like a full 15-minute video out of that, but it would have taken me 3 days. So last night, threw that one together. Thought you guys might like it. What's happening, bigots? All right, you guys taking #climate action today? Drinking lots of water over here to take #climate action. That naughty changing climate. The sun's coming up. Getting all warm. What's cracking here? Let me pull it up to the solo window. What's new out there, guys? We got a good show today. It's been a few days since the last show, and it had been about 4 months since the last show before that. Jumping back on the streams again. Que paso, amigos? We got some people jumping in as we speak. Got a bunch of viewers jumping in. We're going to have a fun stream today, guys. We're going to change the planet today, guys. We're going to save the planet. We're going to save the world. We're going to save the climate, which should never change. Which should never change. As always, want to thank you guys. We're already getting the super chats jumping in here. You guys do keep these streams alive, right? You guys actually make it worth it for me to come over here, spend several hours preparing for this, and spend several hours talking to you guys, talking about these real issues. We get demonetized regularly. We get hidden in the algorithms, and it's super helpful when you guys take charge and hook it up with them super chats. Blockchain Revolution 499. What's up, dude? He says, how do we stop forced veganism on children? It's child abuse. Vegans encouraging government-issued soy slop with weak hormone-deficient sterilized zombies. All right, well, you can't affect how other people are feeding their kids, right? You can't affect everything out there in the world, but you can educate your kids on how to feed themselves, right? You can educate your kids on how to properly nourish themselves. So start them out young, right? Start them out young on the animal foods. Show them what real foods are. Show them how to feed themselves, how to nourish themselves. They'll be able to pass that on to their kids. Part of the issue here is not just the nutrient deficient foods that we're being given. Part of the issue is also the breaking of that lineage of knowledge that gets passed down through the generations, right? So through programming the generation gap, through heavily influencing from social engineering, the way that the different generations perceive each other, they've essentially made it to where it's very difficult for families to actually pass on knowledge to their kids. So, you know, the family unit, that's the start of it, right? Good, healthy families, healthy communities, local foods. That's what we're all about. All right, so thanks for the super chat, dude. Remember, guys, if you guys want any questions answered, if you got anywhere you want to direct this, we could do a little Q&A, throw out them super chats. I want to thank all the people who also the last couple months, especially as we've been putting out a little bit less of these live streams, you guys have been really, really generous with the donations. Really appreciate that. So if you look in the link in the description of the box here, we don't do Patreon. I don't know. I might end up having to do a Patreon eventually. Just of the nature of how the algorithms work here. We don't do Patreon, but we have gotten a few really, really generous donations via PayPal. So I want to thank you guys for donating. Thank you guys for promoting our stuff. And I want to thank you guys for actually for keeping this afloat, right? For making this work. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Today, we're talking about getting our futures back. You got to get our futures back, guys. Poor little John Venus. Poor little John Venus is having his future stolen by all you mean grown-up meat eaters. All right, the grown-ups are not listening to the kids, and we got to help them out. We got to help these kids out. So we got John Venus. John Venus, he's a vegan bodybuilder. You know, he's a natural lifter. Pretty decent physique as far as, you know, natural goes. Looks like, you know, average gym rat. But, of course, when you're a vegan, mediocrity reigns supreme. So you can be mediocre at just about freaking anything. Just about freaking anything. And when you say you're vegan, right, when you throw that little V sticker on it, you throw that little hashtag vegan at the end of all your posts, there's a certain part of the population that's going to think you're so amazing, that everything you've done, all the minor accomplishments you've made are astronomically more important. And that's how it works in the fitness world. John Venus, nice guy. We talked to him. He came on the show a few months ago. We talked about him raising his kid on a vegan diet, which I absolutely still hold the position that this is freaking child abuse. All right, so John Venus still claims to be raising his kid on a vegan diet, the vegan malnutrition, that austerity diet, that vegan diet. Here he is. John Venus is going to educate us on what's happening in the world, guys. So let's hear it.
Very positive video. Alright guys, so just had a new video for you guys today. Not a very positive video. It's a little bit of a more serious sit down video, but hear me out. This is about the forest fires,
There are 3 simple words any woman can say to guarantee a guy will never, ever pull away from you. These 3 words seem so simple at first that you'll wonder why you never thought of them yourself.
Those 3 words are get the fuck off. That's 4 words.
Probably hearing about on the news. Hopefully, I think they just came out with a news story like 24 hours ago or something like that. But I want to comment on it because this is really close to my heart. I'm half Brazilian, and as you know, the forests or the rainforest of northern Brazil, the Amazon, is burning at record paces right now, and it's
okay. Also, that's not true. So first of all, before he gets into his emotional wishy-washy, John Venus, I'm going to save the world. You guys, hey guys, I just want to say I love you so much. Hey guys, could you please stop stealing my future and all go vegan and buy my vegan meal plans and buy supplements from my vegan companies that sponsor me? Thanks guys, that would be great. I'm going to continue malnourishing my babies so that they grow up to be retarded vegans like me. Okay guys. A little harsh. But first of all, the Amazon is not burning at record paces, right? If you actually look at the data, the fires that are going on now are actually less than what we've seen in many previous years. Right? If you look at previous years, I think it was 2010, the fires, During the dry season, we're much bigger. People who don't live there, people who don't live anywhere near the Amazon, love to open up their mouth and repeat the media bullshit that they get projected into their numb skulls by these tech oligarchs that run the world and blast this freaking propaganda out everywhere. All right, so the Amazon is not burning at record paces. It's actually not as bad this year as it's been in previous years. I think it was 2007, 2010. Far more fires. All right. So what we do have here is a big push for globalization, a big push through these NGOs to make this a global crisis. We've talked about the erection of the global climate crisis, right, as this monolithic entity that's threatening to destroy us all. Right? This is not really what's going on here. We're not looking at at this massive crisis. All the Amazon is burning. We're looking at seasonal burns that happen during the dry season, and this is not because of cattle, which we'll get into, in a minute here. So let's continue listening to this guy who says he's half Brazilian. He lives in like Norway, right? Spends his life traveling around, vlogging, eating imported vegan food from Brazil, from places all over the world. Brazil being one of the #1 soy producers in the world that they export to China so that China can manufacture all this processed shit protein powder that these people eat. All right, let's continue listening to super intelligent, super woke, super handsome John Venus.
Very sad for me to see, and not only sad because of the forest burning down and because of the wildlife being destroyed and that kind of stuff. I'm just sad because we see so many people not reacting to these things, right? And this is just one of millions of things that you and I can react to and do something about as a person, right?
So, like, this is just something that you and I can do, and we should just be reacting like to this, like as a person. So I decided to take my camera that was made from, minerals that are extracted from all over the world and assembled by slaves over in China. And I decided to get up in front of here on YouTube and make a video so I could get clicks and make some money and hopefully get some more sponsor money from all you fucking idiots.
Right, we're not doing anything because it's not affecting us. Like, our home is not being burnt down, right? It's this Amazon forest, miles and miles, like hundreds of miles away, that we don't even think about. It's just sad to see how much abuse the forest, the species that have gone extinct, have gone through for us to get our beef, to get our meat. I'm not here as a person trying to promote propaganda or something. Like, let's not.
No. You are. You're here as an idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about, promoting propaganda that he's repeating because he's an idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about, right? I mean, here, just the blatant example. And of course, I talked to John, nice guy, unassuming, right? Nice guy, like, non-confrontational. I act all nice to everybody. Like, I want everybody to be nice to me, wishy-washy dupe here. John Venus, I guess is his real last name, Venaas. He has no idea what he's talking about. I'm not out here spreading propaganda. No, you are. This is highly politically charged propaganda that's been spread by these NGOs, by big media, to sell us more on this climate crisis war narrative. This is war rhetoric that's being recycled, right? It's the same as the Cold War, except the new Cold War is not against the Ruskies. It's not the commies. The new Cold War, that the big banks, that the Fortune 100s, that the IMF, that the World Bank, that all these massive international, transnational, global corporations, the new war that they're pushing, the new version of the Cold War, it's not against the Ruskies and the commies. It's not against the evil dictators, right? It's not against Saddam Hussein. It's not against Muammar Gaddafi. It's not against any of these things. You know who it is against? It's against yourself. It's against us. All right, so if you watch the chat or the stream that I did with Jay Dyer called Clubbing for the Climate, we talked all about the Club of Rome's first global revolution document. Do I have it here? I don't have it right here. The Club of Rome's first global revolution. The Club of Rome being a think tank that is actually very, very influential in this climate crisis narrative that we're seeing here. At the Club of Rome, a group of businessmen, international bankers, people like David Rockefellers, people like Maurice Strong, right? All these people network in these groups. They use NGOs as a shell game to push loads of money through in order to influence global policy, right? And they want to bring in all governments of the world into alignment with certain monolithic policies and dogmas. One of those dogmas being depopulation. One of those central dogmas of globalism being the idea that we need to reduce the human population and, of course, consolidate resources and power on behalf of the mega banks, the mega corporations that are putting this stuff out. So you're not out here trying to promote propaganda, you say, but you are. You're being a useful idiot for these propagandists. Right? While you're feeding your kid a malnourishing vegan diet that's destroying his health and might destroy his future ability to properly develop, right? While you're feeding your kids soy and lentils and chippies and slippies or whatever Dr. Gregor, Bobblehead McGregor, is telling you to feed him, you're destroying not only his health, but you're also wrecking this planet that you think you're trying to save. Right? What a double bind. What an absolutely wicked way to entrap people and ensnare people in their own stupidity, in their own pride, in their own hubris. Right? This guy, from his cushy apartment and wherever he is in Europe, telling everybody, you have to stop eating meat because the Amazon is burning. First of all, John Venus, the Amazon does not get burnt because of cattle. This is a lie. Anybody who lives in South America, who lives anywhere near the rainforest, understands what happens. These are big mining, big oil extraction operations that clear cut the forest, extract all the valuable minerals from it, and then what's left is a bunch of shitty soil. Right? People think that the Amazon, it must have great soil. It must be, really good for growing crops. Or something. No, it's terrible. The soil in the Amazon is absolutely shit for growing crops. So what you see is it gets strip mined, and the minerals get extracted by companies like Shell, by companies like BP, who's actually a member of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development that is pushing this climate crisis narrative, telling you you're going to save the world by making stupid-ass videos like this, by repeating the shit you heard on TV and saying empty slogans like, we must take climate action now. Hashtag climate action now. Right? The very corporations that are strip mining the Amazon, corporations like Cargill, then come in afterwards and plant soy there. Right? And they use the peasants whose governments have already been effectively destabilized by the IMF loans and conditions that impose so-called austerity measures, just like they're going to do to you, just like it's being done in France, just like it's being done in the Netherlands, just like it's going to be done in the US eventually. They want to destabilize the nation, make the people poor and dependent, and then take the resources and infrastructure for dirt cheap and for pennies right from beneath their feet. And what you promote, John Venus, what you promote, useful idiot John Venus, is the narrative that these mega banks, these mega corporations want you to promote. Okay? And you think you're out here doing good, wiggling your cute little face in front of the camera. You think you're over here doing good, pretending that you're saving the world by buying vegan kibble and by making videos to make other people buy vegan kibble. Well, you're not saving the world. You're not doing anything good for anybody with this bullshit. And you are completely lost.
Ourselves. This is clearly because of the animal industry, and it's not like people are doing it on purpose. Like people who are, gorging on barbecues are thinking about the destruction that this is causing. It's not.
Okay. All right, let me back it up. I got a couple super chats here. What's up, guys? Nikolai Nielsen. What up, dude? Says, you made some carnivore gains? Great content. Right on, man. Thank you. I think that was Denmark. Is that Denmark Ducats or whatever you send? Thank you for the super chat, man. Really, you guys keep this stream alive with these super chats. This video, of course, will be demonetized like almost all the other videos we put out in the last few months. And it's going to get hidden in the algorithm. So make sure to share it. And thank you for supporting. I guess I've made some gains. Actually, I'm down in weight. I had a couple weeks, high stress, little sleep, monitoring the kind of the social unrest situation that we had going on here in Ecuador. Pretty stressful. Did lose some weight. Jumped on the scale today, and I was under 160 pounds. I was trying to maintain 165. But, you know, I've been doing a lot of cardio, playing a little bit of football, soccer, whatever you want to call it if you're in America, football. So, yeah, dude, thanks. I'm glad you noticed the gains. Making some gains. Overall weight is down, though, this week. I'm sure it'll come back up. Fast Keto Prime, what's up, dude? Throwing them Canadian ducats. Says, what thumbnail you use for your videos? Let's see. I'm not sure how to answer that question. What thumbnail do I use for the videos? I mean, I make my own thumbnails, dude. I make my own thumbnails. I go get a bunch of different pictures. I get inspired by the different images, and I start messing around with it. It's kind of basically do collages for those. So thank you. Thanks for the Canadian dollars. Last stream was really great with all the super chats. I want to thank everybody for throwing out them super chats last stream. That was a good stream. That was an epic one. Let's get back to the task at hand. You guys, John Venus just wants to save the planet. We have to stop stealing his future. We have to stop stealing poor little Greta's future and poor little John Venus's future. Let's hear what the man has to say, okay?
People who are, gorging on barbecues are thinking about the destruction that this is causing. It's not there is no one person or a group of people to blame for this. It's just how the world has become. Who is benefiting from the Amazon being cut down? Who's benefiting from the Amazon being burnt away? That is obviously the cattle industry in Brazil, because 90% of the intentional deforestation of the Amazon is for cows, not even chicken, which is the most eaten meat in America.
No, John. The number one reason for deforestation is not cattle, cows, or for the chicken. No, that's not what happens. I just explained to you what's going on. You have no idea what you're talking about. Not only are you stupid, I actually think you're dishonest. Because when you came on this show, we did have many conversations about meat and about the production of beef. In fact, you even conceded many points. Even in our private conversations, you conceded a lot more points than you did on the stream that we did together. Not only are you, I think you're either really, really dumb or dishonest. Or maybe 50% of each.
America and many other places in the world, just for cattle. Financially, for these meat industries, for whatever kind of corporations are involved, and obviously
for these
the government
meat industries, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand what you're talking about. Dude. John Penis. What we're looking at here is not the deforestation of the Amazon on behalf of cattle ranchers. The cattle ranchers sometimes come in afterwards, but you know who comes in more often? The soy growers. They grow soy so that you can feed it to your malnourished kid as you ruin his immune system, as you ruin that kid's potentiality to live a happy, healthy life with your stupid-ass vegan ideology because you think it's cute. Because you think it's cool to feel important. Because you think it's cool to be, one of the cool vegans, right? John Venus got a nice little niche in that vegan community. He's one of the nice ones, right? He's more approachable. He's not judgmental, right? He's semi-good looking. He almost acts like a normal person. He's not freely. He's not durian. He's not vegan gains, twerking in front of the camera like an idiot degenerate. He's John Venus. He's nice, right? You've got your stupid little niche marketing to a bunch of stupid little dupes, and you don't want to give that up. And it's so sad to see how much people suffer because of this. Right? All right, we're getting super chats here. I gotta calm down. I gotta be nice to little John Venus, right? You gotta be nice to him because he doesn't know what he's really doing. He actually doesn't know how stupid he really is. All right, Badger Wise, what up, dude? Badger. Again, I told you last stream when you sent a super chat. Thanks for this new super chat, dude. I said last stream, my son, he loves to play. He likes badgers. He likes to play that he's a badger. And he's a mean badger. Starts biting me and shit. He's pretty funny. Badger-wise, how can we combat the growing alt-right perspective like those in the UK's Mark Collett, who believe depopulation agenda is only directed at whites in the West and only comes from elite Jews? Yeah, I mean, it's just a simple glance, that's 10 minutes of research, it makes it abundantly clear that this is not a monolithic thing just done by one race. right? I mean, you look at the there are loads of promoters of this depopulation agenda that come from the Protestant world, right? The Rockefeller Foundation, right? Infamous Protestant family. Right? I mean, look at the Pope now. The Pope talking about we need to start, I think it was some bishop said we need to start confessing to plants, confess our sins to nature, right? Right? It's not just one race that runs the world. Right? It becomes abundantly clear when you look at the WASP establishment in the U.S., right? The East Coast establishment in the U.S., very, very Protestant, right? You look at the influence of the papacy over the generations, right? That just showing somebody a little bit of history. Unfortunately, a lot of people get caught up in really low IQ analysis of geopolitics and history, and sometimes it turns into just that. And that a lot of those groups are actually directed by intelligence agencies too, right? Controlled opposition, very, very useful. So what you see a lot, and whenever there's a big event, people will throw out narratives, almost like a honeypot, where you get people, you kind of radicalize people in a certain way to discredit them. So there's a lot of useful idiots out there. The whole alt-right thing is, for the most part, there's a lot of goofs. So yeah, I mean, just showing a little bit of history to people, make it abundantly clear. All right, dude. Hip-hop-opotamus. Hippopotamus. I know what that is a reference to. That's a reference to that was that show, The Flight of the Conchords. That used to be funny. If Lewis Hamilton continues race car driving, he is going to die from lack of alertness. Vegan brain farts will come him. What do you think? Absolutely, dude. I mean, we'll see what happens with this guy. I don't know much about Lewis Hamilton. I'm not really impressed with, I don't follow race car driving or cricket champions or any of these other like super elite things. Like I don't know. I like to watch sport that I can identify with. Right? Like I can identify with football, not American football. Can't really identify that well with that because I never played it. But like soccer, aka football, I can identify with that. Simple sport, played worldwide. Racing, freaking sprint cars and shit. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for the donation, dude. You guys keep this alive. You guys keeping these streams going. We've got Dustin Clausen. What up, dude? Keep up the good work, Tristan. Keep bringing the truth. Thank you. Hippopotamus says, sorry, sleep deprived. Meant to say we'll kill him. Yeah, will the vegan brain farts kill him? I hope they don't. And I hope the guy gets his shit together. But thank you for sending that super chat, dude. Maximus Groves says, I want to send you a shirt, but it's tricky getting it to Ecuador. Just released Veganism Kills Quarterback from our line of Side of Epic. That's awesome, man. I'm glad. I would love a shirt. Thank you for the offer. I don't know. Maybe if you email me, we can figure out a way. My wife's dad's coming to visit us in January. Maybe there will be no vegan quarterbacks left by then. I think the only one, just Cam Newton, might have had a career-ending injury. So yeah. All right, guys. Going back to John Venus, dropping all sorts of nonsense. Let's just skip forward.
And just look at an interview. Look how he's interacting with people. The level of arrogance, the lack of humility is out of this world. And obviously you can't trust anyone who's like that. So
I don't know what he's talking about there. It sounds like some orange man bad.
This is not just Brazil. In the U.S., it's just as crazy. In Europe, a lot of places as well. Africa is starting to cut down a lot of forests for.
Africa's cutting down a lot of forests, and in America, people killing the trees. Trump is so mean. He make fun of innocent ladies. People be mean to little girl who on TV is so sad. They make me so sad inside.
Meat as well. It's this is a trend that is going on in the entire world. Only that, but it breaks my heart that deforestation, because of the animal industry, is the leading cause of extinction. I know it's frustrating.
All right, John Venus. Dropping those cold hard facts, guys. So do we get like a call of action, John? Do we get a call for action near the end here? Let's fast forward a couple minutes. Let's see what's up with little John Venus. It looks like he's about to drop some fake tears for you guys.
Earth has provided us with, making changes and taking actions into your own hands is the most important thing. And I believe, and as you guys know, I believe that switching slowly to a more vegan lifestyle is gonna be key for many, many things. You're hitting so many, or I was gonna say killing so many birds with one stone.
Oh, but that's not vegans to kill birds. Oh, let me just throw out some empty rhetoric, you guys. Our house is on fire. The Amazon is burning. And we're in this existential crisis, and we all have to do exactly what the TV tells us to do. We've got to sterilize ourselves, feed our children soy instead of meat, move into a socially engineered smart city, and live in a tiny little coffin apartment and have nutrients given to us via kibble by the World Business Council of Sustainable Development so we can save the world, you guys. We just got to. Oh!
That is not very vegan. So yeah, you're feeding a lot of birds with one hand. It's amazing. My question to you guys is simply, are your actions aligning with your true values? Are you thinking only with your brain or only with your whatever is down there? Or are you thinking with your heart as well? Like, are you thinking with your heart? Are you trying to...
That was so beautiful. I like how he kept it gender neutral too. Like, he didn't want to offend anybody. Like, hey, don't only think with your brain, guys. I hope you're not only thinking with your brain. Also, you should be thinking with your pee-pee, which if you watch enough TV, you know that it's really good if you put that in poo-poo.
Focus on empathy. Empathy for our environment, for our forests, for our animals, for every other human being on this planet that is way, way less privileged than anyone who's able to watch this video.
So you guys are all so privileged. So why don't you guys all stop eating meat and save the planet so that poor John Venus can have his future back, guys. He really needs his future back. This is ridiculous. All right, so John Venus. No legitimate facts in there. Just emotion, words of false empowerment, empty rhetoric, empty slogans. That's what the population is now, guys. That's what people are programmed with. And that's what works. The time is now. It's the 11th hour. Time is running out. Our house is on fire. We need direct action. We need to take climate action now. We need to do something now. All right. Well, let's get an update. Let's see how his injuries are doing. Of course, on a vegan diet, we all know lots of people getting injured, lots of people not healing from those injuries, lots of people losing them gains. Let's see how John Venus is doing.
Upstairs right now to have breakfast at my parents' house. Noah's enjoying.
If this is an ad.
His little breakfast right there. A little buffet of different things.
What is he making this kid eat? Look at this poor kid's food. Look at this poor kid's food, dude. Is that tofu? He's giving this kid little tiny squares of tofu, a few bites of blueberries, and that's it. That's what this poor kid is eating. Wow. I mean, he's probably breastfeeding. I mean, at least his mom's probably given up some of the nutrients that she stored over the years through her breast milk. That is insane. Look what this kid is eating. Damn.
Different things. He's not a very big morning eater. He's like me. I'm never hungry in the morning. What about you, Catherine?
Yeah, not really either.
Okay, guys, so time for the injury update. I know a lot of you guys...
All right, so I mean, I've had some people try to say, oh, John Venus is a liar. He's on steroids or something. First of all, dude, John Venus, look at him. Look at the guy. He looks like a natural lifter. Looks like a normal dude. Totally normal dude. Who shaved his chest a couple weeks ago, like fucking dork.
I've heard about my injury before, and if you haven't, basically I injured my lower back. I have a herniated or slipped disc between my L4 and L5, and that happened around 10-11 months ago. So yeah, it's been very, very hard to deal with. I made a video about, you know, dealing with emotional stuff because of that, and you know, physically I've been limited a lot because of my back pain. So I, you know, tried to do everything. I tried a lot of stretching. I tried many things, and at one point I thought it was just gonna go downhill and never get better again. But now I am delighted to tell you guys that I don't.
But now I am moving my hands erratically because I feel like people will think I'm making an actual point if I wave my hands around like a busted ass hip hop dancer right now.
Feel any symptoms at all, almost, apart from when I wake up. So I have joined a gym again. I have been working out, but in terms of working out my legs and that kind of stuff, it's more machine work rather than, heavy squats and deadlifts and things that are kind of risky for the injury that I have. So I'm taking it easy, but still working out very consistently, almost every day now again. I know there are people out there who are just, rooting for me to just deteriorate and, fall to pieces because of this horrible vegan.
Nobody's rooting for that, dude. We're watching it happen, right? Nobody's rooting for it. We're just seeing it. Right? If you look at your physique a few years ago and you look at it now, you got that game changers physique, bro. You got the game changers physique. And I would love to do a voice comparison in a few years to see if you got more soy in that voice, because there's quite a bit of soy slipping around in the back of the throat there. Let's see, I haven't seen this one. Apparently.
What's going on, everyone? Smugness here. Welcome back to another video. So after 2 flights, a train, a boat, 2 taxis, I'm finally here in the UK. I'm actually gone for 12 days. So I just thank you so much for traveling to the UK, John Venus. This is so good. I mean, the animals really, really appreciate all that transport that you're using. This is going to be so good for the planet, so good for the animals, and so good for your subscriber count. Thank you. Away from my family, away from Catherine and Noah. It breaks my heart. It's really sad to be away from them. It's really tough because I'm not used to it. We're like together 24/7, so this is very unusual. And we'll see how I cope. I'll probably cry and complain a lot to you guys, but hopefully that's okay. My main goal with this vlog is to show you guys how far along veganism has gone and how many people are following this amazing vegan lifestyle. I'm gonna finish this.
How many people are following this amazing vegan lifestyle? Yeah, so he's going to a vegan camp out, and this is supposed to show us how far veganism has come along. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to stand, but let's see what he says about his amazing meal for the animals. These blueberries sprayed with shit tons of pesticides. These blueberries that are just amazing for the animals, that are just so amazing. These blueberries that are monocrop, probably grown several thousand miles away from where he's consuming them, shipped over using all sorts of resources so that John Venus can make a vlog.
Pack up blueberries right now and then get some work done, and then we're gonna head over to the camp out. I'm gonna make my way to the event right now. Unfortunately, there are a few car crashes, so the traffic is horrible.
We're like a minute in, nothing's happened yet.
And it bounced back on my finger. I know it's very stupid, and I was like,
yeah, he's in what we actually call a literal echo chamber now, right? He's in an actual echo chamber. He found an echo chamber other than the vegan echo chamber that he can play with his cute voice in. How cute.
Bleeding like crazy. James!
Good to see you. Come in here. Look what else we got here. Got
all right, let's jump forward to the
Wow, what an amazing speaker.
Natty dreadlocks.
Good job, Ed. Can't lie, I'm feeling a little bit more pressure now after this. Alright guys, we just decided not to listen to speeches. We decided to play, what's this called again? Boom! Go.
Alright, so this is how we save the planet, guys. We go to a vegan camp out, which means we go to a massive warehouse, a huge industrial building with a bunch of metal chairs in it, and we play hacky sack with a bunch of soy boys. All right. I don't know how much. We might have to move on to Leo now. We don't have all day.
That I've ever had in my entire life. Your mind is gonna be blown by how good this is. Now the recipe is from a Norwegian site, so it's all in Norwegian. So
yeah, we gotta back it up. Where's the McDonald's?
But this is it. I gotta do it. Let's go. Alright guys, heart is racing. I haven't been at McDonald's for years. Let's do this, guys. I got the sweet potato fries, got a Coke. I'm going all out today. And got the burger. Alright guys, first bite. Let's do it. Now I know what I've been missing my whole life. Alright, suspense over. So here in Norway, they do vegan burgers at McDonald's, so I figured why not try it out. Yeah, it tastes pretty good. It's like a beet.
Yeah, it tastes pretty good. All right, so I mean, this is just so great. You know, the Amazon is burning. Poor John Venus's future is being stolen, just like Greta. The future? You're stolen my future. I should be in school with my brother Leo Venus, so I could call myself Dr. Venus, and all you plebs would have to listen to me. With your dreams of eternal economic growth. John Venus, saving the world by eating McDonald's. Oh, John. Eating McDonald's to save the world. All right. I don't know. It's been interesting looking at John Venus's updates.
He hasn't had that before.
I just kind of feel bad for him.
This is my portion.
I mean, I do kind of feel sad for him.
Here, this is Swede, which is amazing, and carrots and potatoes.
All sides.
I'm gonna try the potato dumplings, which is basically flour and potato. I think that's pretty much it.
So flour and potato. Flour may have been grown in Brazil, exported over. Talking about saving the Amazon. Let's eat these amazing carrots. Let's eat these amazing potatoes and potato dumplings with wheat powder. All right. Well, now we move on. Now we move on to another innocent young vegan. Making a great soy face right there. John Venus has a brother. I don't know if you guys knew this. John Venus has a brother who you can see here exaggerating a nice flex on his trap. Like he's doing that. Sitting down there. Oh, yeah. Exaggerate that. I walk around like this all the time so I look more jacked. Let's see how long he can hold that pose. But he's gonna show Bobby who's boss. Leo Venus about to show Bobby who's boss. Bobby's over in the chat. What up, Bobby? Let's see if we got some super chats here. Not seeing many. We had loads of good super chats last stream. When was that? Thursday? Or maybe before? Tuesday. I forget which day it was. Great stream the other day. Thanks everybody for the generous donations. Remember, this shit does get demonetized. This gets hidden in the algorithms. We always appreciate the support and the super chats. But Bobby, dude, you might want to run away. I see you got that wrench over there in the chat. But I might have to take that wrench away from you after Papa Leo Venus here tears you a new one, dude. Leo Venus about to take that high road. Check it out. Dr. Leo Venus. Not Leo Venus. Now he can call himself doctor. Because apparently a few months ago he finished his doctorate. Now he's in. Right? He's in. And who's his competition? Right? Who is his competition? Who else out there? Is he intimidated by Dr. Greger? Hell no. Hell no. Venus is about to take over. He's about to take over. This is his competition. Dr. Greger. Right? People will worship me, says Leo Venus. I have the magic. I have the magic number. Or the magic letters before my name. Oh wait, I gotta get my traps back up like that again. Let's look jackeder than we are. You get that flex on us. Yo, what's up? This is Leo Venus. I'm a doctor. All right, let's see.
Welcome to Leo Venus. Welcome to another video. My name is Leo Venus. I'm a medical doctor, and on this channel we talk about health, nutrition, lifestyle, and pretty much anything we feel like talking about. Now, my apologies for this bulky microphone. While I'm waiting for the lapel mic that I can put on my clothing, I think this will be the most convenient way to keep the sound quality high for you watching this video. Now, today we are going to be going over another topic which was requested by you both on Instagram and here on YouTube, and that is
all right, so he maintained the trap flex for a good 3 seconds, I'd say. maybe up to 10 seconds. So now back to just looking like a normal dude, right? Looks like a normal dude, right? Looks like you and I, right? Normal guy, works out a little bit, nothing special. Dr. Venus.
A video on Bobby's perspective perspective. Now, I'm a little disappointed that so many of you have requested this topic because I don't like making videos of others. If Bobby watches this, he's probably just going to get offended. And though going through his content may give you a good laugh, it certainly isn't going to provide much value for anyone who is looking to learn anything useful. Anyways, enough chit chat. Let's get straight.
Okay, so far we know that you're not going to learn anything useful from Bobby's perspective. He's disappointed that you guys even wanted him to talk about this because he doesn't like to talk bad about other people, which he did instantly in this video. so Leo Venus taking the high road, right? Bobby's perspective, useless. But let's make a video about him to get some clicks, right? Let's try to harvest some clicks. Humble click farmer, Dr. Leo Venus, about to BTFO my former friend, Bobby's perspective.
On with the video. So Bobby's perspective, well, I guess I should commend him on naming his channel Bobby's Perspective, because no matter how bigoted or unrealistic his perspective is, it is still his perspective.
Maybe I should go.
Wait. All right. Bigot. Bobby's perspective, comma, bigot. Bobby, you're so bigoted. You're a bigot. And nobody's going to learn anything from your channel, and you're just, it's useless to even talk about you, but here's a 5-minute and 48-second video about you, Bobby.
Soy-free. Maybe I should go gluten-free. Little do they know, the best way is to go plant-free and to go full carnivore.
Now, as with any anti-vegan, his arguments are extremely easy to refute for anyone who has any factual knowledge in this area. So what we're going to do today is just quickly go over one of his newest videos where he is criticizing Brian Turner, one of the most well-known bodybuilders in the plant-based movement here on YouTube. So I guess let's just...
wait. All right, let's back it up a second. So this is the funniest thing that he said yet, right? And I'm not sure who's dumber, him or his brother, right? Like, they're both... John is pretty likable, right? John is pretty damn likable, right? Even though he's really dumb, even though he tries to be everything to everyone, is non-confrontational, super fake, at least he's semi-likable, dude. But, I mean, the smugness that comes out... Let's hear again what he says about Bobby.
Well, I guess straight on with the video. So Bobby's perspective, well, I guess I should commend him on naming his channel Bobby's Perspective, because no matter how bigoted or unrealistic his perspective is, it is still his perspective.
Maybe I should go soy-free. Maybe.
All right. So you're a bigot, Bobby, but also you're a bigot, but also
the best way is to go
it gets even better
and to go full carnivore.
because
now,
all carnivores,
anti-vegan, his arguments are extremely easy to refute for anyone who has any factual knowledge in this area.
As an anti-vegan, his points are super easy to refute by anyone who has a little bit of knowledge about anything. All right, so let's see if he gives any facts, any knowledge to actually refute him. So far, I've heard him say Bobby's a mean bigot, Bobby racist, bald man bad, bald man bigot, and also anti-vegans are easy to debunk if you just know anything and have any facts. Let's see if he drops some of these facts, guys.
So what we're going to do today is just quickly go over one of his newest videos where he is criticizing Brian Turner, one of the most well-known bodybuilders in the plant-based movement here on YouTube. So
okay. There are no bodybuilders, no real vegan bodybuilders, right? First of all, there are physique competitors. There are men's physique competitors which are not bodybuilders who are vegan, right? Guys like John Venus, guys like I don't really know much about Brian Turner, but these are so-called naturals, right? I think they probably are natural. I don't see anything impressive about their physiques at all. That's not accomplishable by a couple years of lifting with proper nutrition. Most of these guys made all their gains using animal foods, and then they believe that they're maintaining their gains on a plant-based diet. A lot of them are deteriorating, like his brother John, who's feeding his kid a malnourishing child abuse vegan diet. Garland Farms, what up, dude? Nice to see you there. So let's see what he has to say about all these vegan bodybuilders that don't really exist, right? We're looking at men's physique competitors, dudes that would never be on like a legit bodybuilding stage. You're never going to see a vegan Mr. Olympia, You're never going to see somebody even on the Mr. Olympia stage. You're never going to see a top level vegan athlete competing in any sport. Right? What we do see is a lot of people getting game changed. What we do see is a lot of people going on a vegan diet, getting all pent up and soyified by their lack of nutrition and are unable to perform, like Cam Newton. Right? Like everybody in the Game Changers, which Dr. Shawn Baker made a great video. Guys, make sure to check out, shout out to Shawn Baker. Make sure to check out Dr. Shawn Baker's breakdown and review of the Game Changers. He goes through every single athlete that they feature and shows that every single one of them is not a high-level competitor. Most of them have, almost all of them, I think except one, had a huge decline in performance on a vegan or plant-based diet, right? They try to mix these two. They don't tell you vegan in the film now. They say, oh, he was plant-based. So some of them aren't even vegan. But most of these athletes are still seeing a huge tanking of their performance, and most of them have also seen many of them have seen career-ending injuries. All right, so these vegan bodybuilders are physique competitors. None of them are legit bodybuilders. But again, maybe I'm picking at straws here. Let's see what the super smart, so much smarter than us, and not a bigot, Leo Venus has to say. Continue, Leo.
I guess let's just check out what Bobby's perspective is on Brian Turner.
Brian Turner is the guy that tells us through a vegan diet he got rid of his acne, but you can still see that his skin is in a bad condition. You just want to fill yourself up so you feel like you ate something. Of course, your body is still craving food because you're lacking nutrients. It's a different type of hunger you can never satisfy. As a vegan, you basically feel like a vampire all the time.
So straight away we can see the unjustified assumptions and the associating of completely irrelevant concepts together, which is so typical of ignorant people and so typical of people of this movement. Now when I say ignorant people, I don't necessarily mean that in a judgmental or a negative way. It is just that Bobby is objectively very unknowledgeable in this area, and that doesn't
Okay, wait. Alright. No refutation at all, just name calling. Alright, so Bobby bigot, Bobby mean, Bobby stupid. Leo smart. Leo handsome. Leo knows evidence and facts. Where are the evidence and facts, Leo?
Assumptions and the association.
Let's go back.
So straight away we can see the unjustified assumptions and the associating of completely irrelevant concepts together, which is so typical of ignorant people and so typical of people of this movement. Now when I say ignorant people, I don't necessarily mean that in a judgmental or a negative way.
I'm not being judgmental or mean it in a negative way. I just mean that they're ignorant in that they do not have doctor in front of their name, like me, Dr. Leo Penis, and they are not amazing bodybuilders who make fake flex of their trap to look fake big in video. Okay?
It is just that Bobby is objectively very unknowledgeable in this area, and that doesn't necessarily make him a bad person.
You have no idea.
How many takes do you think he did with some of these things? I like the way he moves his face. He kind of does that like Frank Tufano, that way that like Frank moves his face, like try to look like human in his fake ass interactions. Man, this guy, he's probably not like this in real life. I'm sure he's a lot nicer to talk to in real life. But you put someone in front of a camera, you throw a doctor in front of the name, and the douchiness just oozes from the pores, doesn't it?
Yeah, how it looks like when you slaughter anymore. Your city people sitting there eating your artificial food. Nothing in this bowl is nutritious whatsoever. So much garlic every day. This kills your brain cells, just FYI. See, the only way to stay vegan is to eat processed food, because when it's processed, you have less anti-nutrients in it. And they're even sitting in the shades. The reason being is probably that they're very, very sun sensitive. When you're vegan, you get super sensitive to the sun.
It is my opinion that most idiotic beliefs like these on the planet could actually be eradicated if most people were just taught the basics of factual thinking and the hierarchy of evidence.
Well, this is his refutations. We're more than halfway through the video, and all he said is Bobby bigot, Bobby mean, Bobby stupid, Bobby ignorant, Leo good, Leo use hierarchy of evidence. Right? He throws out this picture of a so-called hierarchy of scientific evidence, which is not a factual framework for analyzing everything in the world. This is a hierarchy of how you would rate the viability of scientific evidence, right? Of scientific evidence. But this doesn't mean that every single meta-analysis and systemic review is better than every single case report or case series. If your individual case report is that eating a lot of plant foods turns you into an obnoxious, slimy, slithery, smarmy, smug, vegan dork, if that's what happened, like a friend here, if that is your individual case study, what would it matter if there was a meta-analysis that says if you go on a vegan diet, you're going to spit unicorn rainbows at the tip of your dick, and you're going to be enlightened, and you're going to, be able to talk to the crystals or whatever. It doesn't matter what's at the top of your fake hierarchy of evidence if it doesn't apply to me. All right, so this is what these vegans do. This is what these guys in these fake debates like to do. They like to pretend that they actually have legitimate science on their side, which they don't. They want to pretend that they actually have a legitimate argument, which they don't. And what this guy's doing is not providing any factual claims to back this up. He's just saying, I'm good. I have the hierarchy of evidence. I'm so smart. Let's hear this again.
Actually be eradicated if most people were... Most idiotic beliefs like these on the planet could actually be eradicated if most people were just taught the basics of factual thinking and the hierarchy of evidence. As once you learn how to objectively align yourself with the truth and realize how unreliable opinions and anecdotes are, you become far less likely to hold such strong opinions about ridiculous beliefs such as this one.
So, he's actually not refuting what Bobby said at all. He's throwing up a straw man and saying all Bobby gives are his opinions. Okay. Now, us in the whole anti-vegan world and the carnivore community, we have given so many scientific refutations for the bullshit that you dweebs put out there from so many different angles. Yet, the consistent response that we get from idiots like this is just dismissive, wipe it aside. That's not good evidence. That's bad evidence. My meta-analysis. Dr. Gregor, though. I am a doctor. I'm Dr. Leo Venus. Look at my smug face.
The thing that I will point out, which is also quite typical of ignorance, is the tendency to bully, which is usually done in some sort of attempt to make oneself look stronger. And when it comes to Bobby, he certainly does carry himself in a way which is quite similar to that of an uneducated school child trying to pick on other kids.
So, starts out by saying Bobby's a bigot. Then he says Bobby's ignorant. Then he says, you're a school child and you're a bully who wants to pick on kids. Right? This is just so funny how he's projecting everything that he's doing, right? Not providing any evidence, arrogantly dismissing the evidence, right? Claiming that all the science is on your side. And also the insults and the trying to make yourself appear like you're taking the high ground, right? Oh, this person's not even worth talking about. He's so ignorant. He's a bigot. He's a bully. Dude, you're doing exactly what you accuse him of doing. All you did was insult him, call him names, call him a bully, and try to discredit him. That's all you've done. That's all you've done. Where's the facts? Where is the refutation? Right? You say, oh, it's so easy to dismiss these if you have any knowledge of factual evidence and the hierarchy of evidence. Where's your evidence, Leo Venus?
And when it comes to Bobby, he certainly does carry himself in a way which is quite similar to that of an uneducated school child trying to pick on other kids.
Because I know there
Why
are
do you
a lot
talk
of people
like
who
that?
have issues.
Spoiler, it's gonna
That's what
taste
the yellow
shit
stuff is.
as a vegan bodybuilder. It's so dumb.
Can't wait to try this,
Oh,
bro.
Bobby's mean. Bobby
mean.
What's going
Bobby's
on? man? Come on.
mean.
Again, it just shows you how emotional people are, that as long as you align yourself with their opinions, they will take someone like this seriously. It's quite amazing.
You always see the
All right, so still, nothing but character assassinations, name calling. That's all we're getting so far. Character assassinations, name calling, and insulting Bobby. Where's the refutation, Leo? Where's the refutation? And look how smarmy. Is Leo? I'm not sure. Do you guys know? I don't really follow these people. Is Leo or John the older brother? It really seems to me like Leo's the younger brother. The way that he's, the way that he kind of uses, his emotions and words to try to manipulate people, And to try to make himself seem right or to seem better. I think he's the younger or the older brother. John's older. There you go. That makes sense. Leo's the baby brother. Right? That makes a lot of sense, right? So he wants to appear smart. He wants to appear intelligent. He probably used to get choked out and wrestled to the ground by John. And then his way of trying to appear dominant and superior is by trying to act smart, right? He wants that. I'm so smart. Look at me. I'm so smart. All right, so he's got that vibe of feeling superior, right? I mean, I wonder what their dynamic was like when they were kids. You know, because he's a little bit smarter than his older brother, he feels superior to other people, and is he just carrying that on into his adult life?
Amazing.
You always see the same phenomena with vegans. They become very feminine. I do not care if this is a soy-free day of eating. Brian still has transmuted himself into a very feminine-looking soy boy. Always the same.
Yes, here comes the classical shaming of the female sex. And to be fair, I do understand why Bobby feels the need to...
The classical shaming of the female sex. No, Bobby's shaming effeminate little dweebs that are in the vegan community, right? Bobby's saying... You soy boys are being effeminized by your lack of nutrition, but also the stupid, lame shit that you say makes you sound like weak little stupid pussies. Like when you try white knight for women who aren't even being attacked. Right? You're trying to white knight for women who are not even being attacked. He's not shaming feminine women. He's telling feminine men to stop being pussies. Then maybe people will take them seriously. Right? And this is something that we see all across the entire vegan community, is feminized males, right? Trying to white knight for the animals, trying to pretend like they're saving the world, trying to pretend like they're morally superior, like they're ethically superior, like they're intellectually superior. Right? It's just, what is he telling himself as he says this stuff? I want to hear his inner dialogue, right? Like, I'm so cool. I'm so cool. All the chicks gonna think this is so cool. Bobby, he a bigot. He a bigot. Bald man bad. All right. What a dork. All right, let's see. Let's come over here to the chat. Got some super chats here. Joshua Baker, what's up, dude? He says, can I start a carnivore transformation story on IG? Probably be tagging a lot. Just wanted your permission before I tag you. Hey, thanks for asking, dude. Look, tag me up, but please don't tag me in 3 posts a day. There's a few people that tag me in every post they do every day. That gets kind of weird. I stop looking at them when that happens. Right? But dude, hey, if you got something you think I'd be interested in, feel free to tag me. You know, I love when people send me interesting stuff on Instagram, on Twitter. You can find me Primal Edge Health on Instagram. Yeah, dude, thanks a lot. Thanks for the donation. $5. It all helps. Throwing it into the tip jar there. Let's see. You guys feel free to throw those super chats out there if you got any questions you want to ask. I'm going to do a little Q&A. Or if you just want to support the work that we do here. We do get always... Well, not always, because we had a couple that were not demonetized this month, but we almost always demonetize on these streams for whatever reason, and it's always really nice to get the support of you guys out there. Hey, says Igor. Igor, are you Russian? Your name is Igor. We got Vince, says love these streams, keep it up, man, with a laughing face. Yeah, well, I hope they can provide some education, some laughs, some giggles. Maybe help you poop your vegan pants. Ian Jones throwing 20, I don't know, is that euro? I don't know what that is. Thank you so much for the generous donation, my friend. Says, appreciate the message, which is so hard for many to hear. Yeah, it is. It's hard for most people to hear the truth, right? And the truth is almost universally rejected in the world. Right? In this fallen world, people reject the truth. They reject God. And they want to worship themselves. They want to worship their own image in the mirror. And they want to reject reality. And thank you, man. We're over here trying to do what's right, trying to do what's good as flawed, created beings. Not flawed because we were created flawed, but flawed through our own choice, right? Through our own sins, through our own actions that bring us further away and out of alignment with the truth. Which truth requires something outside of us, outside of our own self, outside of our own feeling to exist. And the truth requires God to exist. Judas Romo, what up, dude? Throwing $10 out there. Thanks, Judas. I don't see anything. I know you were on the last stream. I remember the name. Really cool. Yellow Knife, keep it up. Hyping Jay Dyer's Globalist book series. That's right, dude. Jay Dyer does a great job with the Globalist book series. It has many very, very good recommended reading recommendations on his list there. He's got a great book list. That's what's up. All right. Definitely check out his apologetics and his theology work too. You know, that's the Globalist book series is great, but I think his theology stuff is actually just absolutely invaluable. Right? You cannot put a value on that one. All right, let's get back to the task at hand here. Leo, you going to make a point here, or are you just going to keep white knighting for an invisible female population out there that you say Bobby's insulting, which he really isn't, while you insult him, call him names, and try to discredit his character by calling him names and insulting him and making no valid points of your own? Let's continue with Leo.
With femininity, because it can actually help him play on the biggest fear of many men, especially many young men, which is not being manly enough. And so, Bobby, let me ask you this, and to anyone who watched this video and enjoyed his video on Brian Turner, which one sounds like is more insecure about his own manliness? Somebody who constantly feels the need to talk about his own manliness, or someone who feels free to express himself in whichever way he feels like? Just a thought.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder how many takes he had for that one. How many takes you think Leo did on that one? Leo, you forgot to flex your trap again, bro. You forgot to flex the trap on that one. You got to flex that trap. Flex them traps, Leo. You forgot, bro. White knighting. And saying, Bobby, you're uncomfortable with your manhood. So while Bobby, all Bobby said was a lot of these vegans are soy boys and become effeminate, which is abundantly clear to everybody. It's even clear when you watch people like Leo's channel, right? I mean, how long did Leo spend flipping up his little hair right there? How long did Leo spend getting that perfect fade on the shave there? Getting that little fade on the side of his head, right? You know, Leo's all about that hierarchy of evidence, right? Leo knows the hierarchy of evidence, but Bobby's just ignorant. Anybody who's anti-vegan, they don't know the evidence, the hierarchy of evidence, right? But Leo Venus sees that hierarchy of evidence, dude. Leo Venus sees it. When Leo Venus looks in the mirror, he sees the hierarchy of evidence. Right? And Leo Venus spends a hell of a lot of time looking in that mirror.
The thought.
Okay. Doesn't this look like diarrhea? Doesn't this look like bloating? Doesn't this look like digestive stress? No? It's just me? Sure.
So apparently now the way a food looks is a good indicator of how it's going to make you feel. When you eat carnivore diet, you become constipated, which means your poo becomes harder and takes longer to go through your body, which means life takes longer to go out of your body, which is why carnivore is so healthy. I can't.
Okay, so there's the only attempt to debunk any of the facts that he's misrepresenting Bobby to have made, right? So he's done nothing to refute Bobby. He's insulted him and then accused Bobby of being insulting while Leo's insulting him the whole time. He said that Bobby is not comfortable with his manhood. But obviously Leo is. Leo's very comfortable with his manhood, right? Leo's very comfortable with the scientific evidence, the hierarchy of evidence. Very, very comfortable with his manhood. In fact, Leo spends hours every day checking out his manhood in the mirror, blowing it little kisses.
Do this anymore. This carnivore nonsense is becoming more and more ridiculous the more I cover it. I'm losing too many brain cells here, so I don't...
Losing too many brain cells. Still no facts. Still no refutation of the critiques that are made against veganism, the nutrient-deficient diet that seeks to replace the most easily produced on your own land foods that you could feed your own family off your own land with, right? The demonization that these idiots are pushing and trying to get us to replace them with processed refined pea protein powder, with soylent slop, and with nutrient-fortified kibble. Right? He's got no refutation. This entire video, no refutation.
I think I'm even going to cover the rest of this video. However, what I will leave you with is try your best not to judge these carnivores for having such stupid beliefs as...
Try not to judge them. Like I just said that no, they're uncomfortable with their manhood, right? They're ignorant. They're stupid. Let's try not to judge them. You know, like we know in our hearts that we are superior, right? Look at me. Look how handsome I am. Look at the faces I make in the camera. Huh? Look how handsome I am. Do not judge them. Just put a picture of me next to them and see who's more handsome.
If we were in their circumstances, if we were living in their shoes, we would probably believe in the same things. So pity them and sympathize with them.
Pity them.
Whenever they throw their emotional arguments or angry judgments toward you, try to
which
counter that.
Every single one of your points was simply a straw man or an ad hominem insult to try and discredit Bobby or a stupid projected judgment. But let's not judge them. Let's just project everything that we do onto them and pat ourselves on the back because we're so fucking cool.
With warm understanding and logic, and hopefully that will help to slowly get them to open up towards the facts.
Which you didn't provide. Which you didn't provide. Alright, next video. We got Leo. Oh, look at him. Leo with that fresh fade. Got that hair all combed up, all sexy like. There we go, Leo. Look at that.
Alrighty, welcome to another video. My name is Leo Venus. I'm a medical doctor and a bioengineer, and today we are going to be going over a topic that was demanded by you, and from now on, actually, I might as well announce it straight away. I'm going to be doing a little tradition on this channel where you leave a topic or a video suggestion, and if it gets enough likes, I will go through the comment section and pick the comment with the most thumbs up. I'm going to be talking about an ancient carnivore, the Shawnosaurus Rex. So I didn't know much about this guy until I was made aware of him through YouTube comments. I knew that he was a carnivore, and apparently that he used to be a surgeon until he lost his license, which kind of makes sense when you think about what a poor grasp on reality this man possesses.
So, right off the bat with insults, first of all, Dr. Shawn Baker is a surgeon, and he did have his license temporarily revoked, but he's gotten his license back, and he can practice now. So, straw man, attacking him, right? Instantly attacks, instantly on the attack, but let's see, is he going to take the fake high ground again, like he did with Bobby? Right, the last Bobby video, Leo really took the high road, right? He took the high road so he could hawk some loogies at all the suckers down below. Let's see what he does with Dr. Shawn Baker, who actually is a legitimately real doctor who has actually sewn up people in freaking battlefields, right? Not just some ideologue who went and bought his degree so that he could then market himself as a not dying vegan doctor, right? But guys, remember, Dr. Greger didn't always look like Dr. Greger looks now. In fact, when you look at Leo Venus looks like a splitting image of what Dr. Greger actually looked like before he went vegan. So, are we looking at the future of Leo Venus? We'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
However, when I started sitting down and taking a good look at his channel, I completely understood why so many of you were asking me to make more videos about this topic. His channel is just full of misinformation. He likes to just come up with random facts without backing anything with evidence, and in typical fashion of
Sorry, accidentally jumped forward. So again, just blanket says, oh, he has no facts, his facts are bad, he gives no evidence, and he's dumb.
Is why these videos are so easy to pick apart, but in the interest of time, we are going to stick to the newest video where he makes the amazing claim that carnivores cause less animal deaths than vegans.
Which is absolutely true. Which is absolutely true.
Such thing as vegan food. I link an article written by some of the farmers that you know, they don't have a dog in the fight. They raise both cattle and they raise vegetable and other food crops, plant crops. So what we often hear from vegans is that you know, we eat vegan diet because we want to be guilt-free, and our animals, you know, we're not killing animals, we're not doing it intentionally, and therefore we are ethically and morally superior to meat eaters, right? This is what they essentially are saying.
When it comes to this argument, I've heard it so many times before, where vegans somehow feel they are morally superior to other people. Well,
no, they do. And some of them feel like they're intellectually superior because they grew up getting the shit kicked out of them by their older brother. And they would use their words to piss people off and try to feel smug and feel enlightened and feel superior. What a dork.
Well, when you look at it, in terms of the morals, how they are accepted by Western society today, then yes, you could say that going vegan would be a morally superior decision than not going vegan. However, that doesn't mean that vegans per se think they are superior to anyone else. On the contrary, I actually think a lot of vegans are vegan exactly because they do not think they are superior to anyone else, and that includes all other animals as well.
Yes. All right. So Leo Penis is correct there. Vegans are vegan because they don't think that human beings are any different from an animal. Because in their religion, in their materialistic bullshit ideology, everything is the same, right? So human beings are not different from animals, which even within your own worldview as a vegan, there's nothing that sets humanity apart from animals that would make it to where animals can eat other animals, but human beings should not eat other animals. You see what I'm getting at here? It's completely inconsistent. His worldview is completely inconsistent and crumbles under the weight of its own stupid assumptions, which are that humans and animals are the same. If humans and animals are the same, why are you not protesting the lions killing the zebras? Why are you not protesting the black widows consuming the flies? Why are you not protesting ants being decimated by the evil anteaters? Right? You know why? Because you can't even get past step one within your worldview to justify your claims of morality. You don't believe that morality is objective. You believe that it's subjective and we just get to make it up. Right? You have no basis to make moral claims on your own behalf or on anybody's behalf. You are a classic victim of modernity, Leo Venus. You are a classic victim of his own intellectual pride and his own intellectual hubris. And you think that you're superior to other people because your mommy stroked your back when you were a little kid and told you you're so smart and you're so special and you're so amazing. When really, you're just a dupe. You're just a useful idiot who promulgates a worldview that's self-destructive, that's self-refuting, and that is completely inane.
Superior to anyone else, and that includes all other animals as well.
75 hectares of growing peas, which is not that much area. It's not really that big of a field. They typically kill something like 1,500 animals, things like deer and this is Australian data, deer and wallaby and possums. Annually, there's 1,500 animals that have to be killed. Not to mention the small animals, the field mice, which they kill probably an equal amount. So probably something like 3,000. Remember, all of that is intentional.
We've got Dr. Baker actually bringing some of the facts about the crop deaths that happen. He's completely on point. In fact, some of these stats are even underestimated. Right, over those wheat fields, people are slaying pigeons by the hundreds. Which we'll get to in a minute.
Like the vegans claim.
When you look at the article he linked in his video, you will find that there is actually no data. This is basically just another person's opinion in speech marks about all of these supposed numbers. So again, a completely non-scientific approach. As we know, personal opinion is amongst the least reliable source of information, and backing your own opinion.
No. There was not personal opinion. He just gave you stats about crop deaths, Leo Venus. Do you think your audience is as dumb as your brother?
With someone else's opinion doesn't make things better.
If we want to talk about humane kill, how do we justify shooting an animal?
Why on earth are we smiling here? And good job actually on doing the little quotation marks around humane, because as we know, humane means to show mercy, and when you are killing an animal for food, you are not showing mercy, you are doing it out of pure self-interest.
Right. Leo, what is mercy? Right, you're going to base your whole worldview about eating animals on a concept of mercy that you can't even define or defend or ground in your materialistic, dumbass, modernist worldview. What is mercy? What is right and wrong? Where do right and wrong come from, and how do we know what is objectively right, wrong, true, false, or real? How do we know what is right or wrong, Leo Venus? You can't answer this because you can't ground your ethical and moral claims within your own worldview. What you can do is get up in front of the camera, prune your hair, make yourself look all cute, get a nice little fade going there, maybe pluck your eyebrows a bit, pretty yourself up like a woman to get in front of the camera and smile and pretend to be smug and intelligent and take a fake high ground when you're really just making yourself look like a buffoon. You look foolish, dude. You're not responding to his actual points. You're name calling, right? Which, hey, there's nothing wrong with name calling, but if that's all you're offering, right? Now I'm here. I'll call you names, right? I'll call you a smug, empty-headed, intellectually prideful dupe, useful idiot for the global elite, pushing a malnourishing diet on the people of the world so that you can feel good and superior to other people because you're an average Joe with nothing really superior to offer. I can say that, but that's not my argument. My argument is that the crop deaths are real. My argument is that thousands of animals die regularly to grow your stupid ass foods. Not only are we talking about crop deaths from shooting pigeons, from shooting birds, but we're also talking about poisoning them. How many insects die from glyphosate? How many small animals die from glyphosate? How many kids are autistic due to the heavy use of pesticides? How many people's immune systems are fucked from the use of these pesticides and herbicides and fungicides? How many animals die from these things being sprayed on them? Farmers in America's salad bowl are turning into hunters, stalking wild pigs, rabbit, and deer to keep E. coli and other harmful bacteria out of their field. It's part of an intense effort to prevent another disaster like 2006 spinach contamination that killed three people. So farmers are regularly killing tons of animals. Tons of animals. The Conversation put out a good article about all the deaths that happen. 25 times more sentient animals killed per kilogram of usable protein. More environmental damage. I mean, I'm not sure if they're actually factoring in the transport of all this stuff to then be processed and then transported so that Leo can sit in his little cute coffin apartment in a smart city and pat himself on the back because he's buying the vegan option that was grown by debt slaves in Africa or South America, processed by debt slaves who will have their organs harvested in China so that it can be sent to you, while you and your friends tell everybody else that they should listen to what the big banks and big governments tell them and go vegan so that we can continue this cycle of exploitation of the resources that you claim to be protecting. All right, so here's just a few clips. Shooting crows. Swiss farmer Alois' commitment to growing his crops organically has made him creative at solving problems. But when faced with hungry crows, he felt he had no choice but to call the hunter. What's the hunter do?
It's been a desperate struggle. Alois Collard had nearly lost all hope to 45,000 euros. Is fed up. He's asked local authorities for permission to shoot the crows. After all, his is not the only farm being plagued by the birds. Daniel Gerber is known as the best crow hunter in Switzerland and has been tasked with the call. His mobile plastic dummies attract the real birds like magnets at dawn. It's astonishing that this simple method manages to trick notoriously cunning crows. As soon as they approach, their fate is sealed.
Okay. Oh, but that's not the hierarchy of evidence, man. Show me a meta-analysis that proves that there's more crop deaths. That's how dishonest these people are. Here you go. Pigeons over the wheat fields. To shoot or not to shoot? That's the question. If you are Andy Crowman Crow, made famous by Sporting Shooter magazine, the birds are devastating your mate's wheat fields, it's an easy one to answer. And he has a number of tips and tricks up his camouflaged sleeves to deceive those pesky pigeons. So, slaying some pigeons.
Have you been pleased with this flapper?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Yeah.
So as a vegan, that is murder, right? That's the same as a human baby, right? Eggs are murder. Eggs are murder. But human babies, before they're born, fetuses, are just clumps of cells.
Do like this. There's a lot of times I use the flap.
Look, Here's some of the crop deaths.
See that
Small animals, pigeons, we got
tree
deer.
offering what some people would think of as backstop. It's not. Obviously, it's not.
Farmers will shoot rabbits so that they don't get caught up in the combine harvester. Andy Crow wants to protect his maize crops from pigeons. Here you go. Shooting some pigeons to protect the crops.
That's what we're going to start off with today. I'll just put them up out here and just build the pattern up as we go. Because as we shoot some this side, I'll just put more and more up there. This is the main side they're going to come, so I'll put the main pattern out here for a start, and then hopefully, as the day goes on, we'll split it and get them up the other side.
But
so there we go. Those are just some of the crop deaths. We're not even talking here about all the pesticides. We're not even talking here about the clearing of land so that these crops can be grown, so that corn can be grown, so that wheat can be grown, so that soy can be grown, so that you can malnourish yourself on it. Right. Shit, you should be eating these pigeons, Leo Venus. You should be eating those pigeons. But you don't care about the reality of it. All you care about is appearing superior, is taking a fake high ground. Oh, Shawn Baker and Bobby, they're bigots and they're mean and they're stupid. I'm so smart. I got a hierarchy of evidence. Which I don't use to provide any actual evidence to refute the claims. I just dismiss them and insult the messenger.
Pure self-interest.
Raising 1 pound of beef protein versus 1 pound of wheat protein. The wheat protein requires 25 times as many animals killed as it does for the beef. So 25 times as much kill there. Now, the vegans' common sort of retort to this is, well, you know, animals eat up more crops and food for their food than people do anyway.
No, Shawn, nobody uses this rhetoric because your argument is akin to saying the world is flat. It is
another classic dumbed down vegan response, right? Your argument is akin to saying the world is flat. You are a denier of science, right? Anybody with half a brain, anybody who understands the scientific method knows that that's not how you refute evidence. Not a single piece of evidence refuted so far. He won't address any of the claims, won't address any of them. Just insults, wipe them aside and says, you're a flat earther if you disagree with me. This is how stupid he thinks his audience is. This is how smug this guy is. Maybe he'll see this video and make some better actual retorts to what's going on here. But to be honest, it doesn't seem like Leo Venus is actually capable of really, truly analyzing what's in front of him, right? He wants to look cute. He wants to look right. He's found an audience of people that are dumber than him and his brother that will think he's a genius if he just comes out here and repeats nonsensical truisms and makes stupid, sweeping statements like, if you disagree with me, you believe the world is flat.
Than people do anyway.
No, Shawn, nobody uses this rhetoric because your argument is akin to saying the world is flat. It is simply incorrect.
So if you want to...
It's simply incorrect. That's how he does it.
Focus
Great
on
refute.
Don't eat as much pork. Don't eat as much chicken. You can certainly have a very limited amount of animals that you kill in your diet. In fact, if you eat grass-finished cows, you know, you're eating one animal. You could contrast it to the hundreds and thousands of animals on a plant-based diet. Now, again,
and that animal, if it's grazed properly, using real holistic grazing methods, right, rotational grazing, intensive grazing, you can actually regenerate the soil. So not only are you preventing all these deaths that happen when you're eating the wheat, when you're eating the corn and the soy, not only are you preventing those crop deaths of all those pigeons, all the rabbits, all the frogs, all the birds, all the insects, all the worms, the soil that gets destroyed, all the resources you have to use to transport this stuff all around and to process it all as well. Not only are you avoiding all of that, but you're also regenerating the soil. You're also putting carbon back into the soil. You're also maintaining homeostasis in these ecosystems where cattle are an intimate, and ruminant animals are an intimate or integral part of the regeneration of the soil and of the maintenance of microorganisms, fungi, small animals, that then actually come to these areas. Right, when you're using regenerative agriculture, you end up bringing more birds in, more small animals end up coming back to these areas. You regenerate the soil, you're bringing back the natural native wildlife that those areas can hold, and you're providing food for the local community. Right? But where's the refutation from John Venus? Let's hear how he refutes Baker's next points.
Both plants and animals. I'm not saying that vegans are worse than omnivores.
Okay, so again, another claim with zero evidence backing it up. So let's take an objective look at the facts, shall we? Let's look at the real numbers. So this is a nice visual representation of the animals killed to produce 1 million calories of 8 different food categories. And you can see that...
And doesn't provide the source from this 2009 graph. Says, this is the real evidence. Doesn't provide any source. Just shows this graph.
In general, animal foods kill a lot more animals than do non-animal foods. And this is not rocket science. It's not that difficult to understand. You don't need to be a genius. If you just apply some logic here and think about it sensibly.
So again, gaslighting his audience. You don't have to be a genius like I believe I am, because my mommy told me I was. You don't have to be a genius like me, Leo Venus. You don't have to be so handsome and intelligent and witty and smart like Leo Venus to be knowledgeable about this. You just have to know the facts and all the evidence and have a basic understanding of how to be basically intelligent and basic understanding about the facts that I have, which I will not give you.
You are growing animals for food. You are not only eating the animal, you are also contributing to all the things that the animal has eaten, all of the resources that go into the animal.
Which is grass. Which is grass and herbs and shrubs that you can't eat, that I can't eat, and even when they're fed grain, most of the grain that they're fed is the leftover soy cake shit that is left over after they make soy oil, so that you can fry your McDonald's Beyond Burger bullshit that you think is saving the world in it, right? That's what gets fed to animals. Excess stuff from the grains that are making the oils that you idiots are getting people to eat instead of real animal foods that can come from your local environment. That's what it is. Right? More than 90% of the silage of the food that gets fed to animals is not edible by humans. And if it's grass-fed, grass-finished, all of the shit that they're eating cannot be eaten by humans. Right? And the water that gets used in the production is not yours also. The land that gets used in this production does not belong to you. But you use this land grab rhetoric of, oh, we can grow more plants in the same amount of land and more calories from kale than if we use beef, which is completely inane. Right? That quality of protein, the digestibility of protein, the assimilability of this protein is very, very important.
During the whole animal's lifetime. And this is why it is such an inefficient process. Per calorie that you consume from an animal-based food, you're actually...
So what they're feeding to these animals are things like the corn husk, are things like the leftover cake of the soy after they press the oil out of it. That's what they feed the livestock. The excess shit that we can't eat. All right, so I don't know if we could finish this one with Leo. He's getting a little insufferable. I mean, John. He makes John look. He actually makes John look way smarter, doesn't he? Isn't that funny? Leo thinks he's the smart one, right? He's got this, chip on his shoulder about appearing intelligent and superior and using his words and his snark to be super witty and smart. But John seems like a fucking genius next to this dupe.
Having to indirectly use a ton of other resources that are completely unnecessary. And once again, once you apply a little bit of evidence-based thinking, a little bit of fact-checking, and go on the FAO and check the numbers. Livestock is the world's largest user of land resources, with grazing land and cropland dedicated to the production.
Land that you use for grazing cannot be used to grow crops. Okay? When you hear this rhetoric, who's putting this shit out? The people that put this shit out are the people that want to take your land. You have like the World Resources Institute. These people want to quantify and control the use of all resources on the planet, and they get idiots like this to go and repeat their rhetoric. You can't grow corn where you graze cattle. There are different types of land. The land that we live on, very rocky, very steep, not suitable for plant agriculture. Perfect for grazing ruminant animals, which is why for thousands of years, people have had huge herds of ruminant animals and of roaming animals eating the herbs in this area, providing loads of food. In fact, there was far more food being produced here 500, 600 years ago than there is now. Here in the Andes of Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, all throughout South America, there were massive herds of alpaca, of llamas, of vicuñas that were managed in a very, very intelligent way to provide shitloads of food for shitloads of people. But, of course, you have no idea where food comes from. You're not involved in the production of food at all. You guys, you vegans out there, you're just repeating a bunch of shit that you're hearing on TV. And you don't understand that it's weaponized not only against you, but also against the people who produce your food. Right? You vegans are out there demonizing the very people who produce your food, who are out there shooting crows over their crops of wheat, corn, and soy so that you can have your decadent vegan desserts that are unnecessary at 10 o'clock at night while you're sitting on your iPhone, looking through your previous selfies, thinking about how you can take a better selfie next time and use hashtag vegan activist on it.
Of feed representing almost 80% of all agricultural land. He also makes the claim that a lot of this land cannot be used for anything other than grazing animals, and that the crops that we feed to animals is actually very negligible. Most of it is
you going to refute that?
Anyways. However, again, looking at the facts, feed crops are grown in 1/3 of the total cropland as they are today to feed animals. And according to the calculations of the United Nations Environment Program, the calories that are lost by feeding cereals to animals instead of using them directly as human food could theoretically feed an extra 3.5 billion people.
So theoretically, if it was actually legitimate math done by a legitimate organization, the UNEP, the UN Environmental Program, UNESCO, the World Wildlife Foundation, these are all these big international, multinational NGOs that actually have a huge intersectionality with the corporate interests, which are basically doing the bidding of the big banks to set policy globally so that they can control how you use land. And they get useful idiots like this who go and pay lots of money, way too much money, to throw an MD in front of their name, or behind their name, to throw a DR in front of the name, so that people will listen to them as they program the little insignificant people below them. Because that's what this guy sees you as. He sees us all as just idiots. We're all just idiots. I'm Leo Venus. I'm a genius. My mommy told me I'm smart. I used to piss off my brother with my amazing wit and my sharp tongue when I was a kid. I am so smart. Leo Venus.
I guess you could say that going on a plant-based or a vegan diet wouldn't only be morally superior in terms of the amount of animals that you are killing, but also in terms of resource distributions to help human beings as well.
We talk about,
and that's what it's all about. It's all about the distribution of resources, the allocation of resources through a technocratically controlled global governance system that is dominated by big finance and the Fortune 100 companies who want to control you and I, what we say, do, and think, and through things like UNESCO, United Nations, education programs, through things like the UNEP, through the World Resources Institute, through big foundations like the Rockefeller Foundation, Ford Foundation. All of these are pumping billions of dollars into getting idiots like this to repeat this type of rhetoric about land use, about feeding the world, saving the planet, when really it's just a big ruse. Right?
Human beings as well.
When we talk about land usage, remember, the vast majority of the land usage used for grazing animals is unsuitable to grow crops, right? It's rocky terrain, it's soil that can't grow crops. 70% of the agricultural land is like that.
What is being failed to be acknowledged here is that we no longer live in the caveman days, and non-arable land is actually capable of producing food.
Yes, well, big ag will help us with more chemicals, with more machines that people have to take loans out from the big banks to get so that they can be indebted to them forever and live under totalitarian regimes. Wow. All right. Leo Venus, everybody. Let's give a nice round of applause to Leo Venus. Big round of applause to Leo Venus. You guys, you're stealing Leo Venus's future. All right, please stop stealing Leo Venus's future. His future as an e-celeb vegan, pushing vegan propaganda, needs protection. We all need to go vegan so that Leo Venus, poor little Leo Venus and John Venus, can have a future selling you protein powder. Let's move on. What's going on in the chat? What's happening to everybody? Man, it's been like an hour and 45 minutes already. Time flies. What's up? I'm not seeing any super chats here. Let's scroll up. You guys got anything you want to talk about? We can do a little Q&A here. Make sure to, all right. Cool. We have read all of them super chats. I want to thank everybody for supporting the stream here, for supporting us through those super chats. It does make a big difference because we are consistently demonetized, consistently hidden in the algorithm. And a lot of damn work goes into these streams. It takes preparation, time, and it's fun. And I love doing them. When you guys are throwing out them super chats, it makes it a lot more worth it, doesn't it? All right, let's move on. We got Ellen DeGeneres. Here's what Ellen has to say about saving the planet.
Hi there, it's Ellen DeGeneres here. I was scrolling through the gram and I noticed that a lot of people are talking about eating less meat, which I think is a fantastic idea. It's a great idea for the planet. It's a great idea for your health. It's a great idea for the animal's health. So eat less meat. Unless you're a vegan and you don't eat meat already, then good for you. So you don't even need to pay attention to this. But for the people who do eat meat, just try to eat less of it. Maybe eat it less, once a week, or none a week, or just, like if you eat it every night, don't eat it every night. Eat it less than that. 4 nights a week would be okay, but like 3 or 2 nights, or just 1 night a week would be the best. Anyway, it's.
Was that it? She cuts herself off mid-sentence? Wow. All right, so it's like the memo came across the table. Hey, go tell the useless eaters to stop eating meat. So, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Hey, guys, don't eat meat, eat less meat, go vegan or more vegan or whatever. Wow. Ellen jumping on. Right, now, of course, mainstream media always pumping the most degenerate of content out there. Nobody pays attention to this trash. But Ellen promoting the vegan diet. Nondescript, what's up, dude? Thanks for the super chat. Says, have you reviewed Johnny Juicer on YouTube and his vegan dog? Juicing, raw foods, updated videos on IG, veganism and juicing with Teresa Jordan. Thanks, man. I haven't. I'd love to hit on that. Maybe on the next live stream we'll do that, because I think we've gone almost 2 hours now. I don't know if I've got so many things pulled up that I'm not even going to be able to hit on this one. So I might have to continue some of these topics and hit up some of these topics on a later stream. All right. Judas, what's up, dude? Says chicken liver versus beef liver. Beef liver all the way, man. Beef liver. Ruminant animals are superior to monogastrics. Ruminant animals are superior to anything that's got less stomachs. Right. The more stomachs, the better. The liver of a ruminant animal is amazing. Chicken livers are great, especially if they're eating, legitimately good food, like real food. Chicken livers are cool. If they're not, the problem with chicken is a lot of the time they're eating mostly corn, right? Conventional chicken in the U.S., pretty low quality, but the chicken livers here. If we slaughtered some of our chickens, which we're going to slaughter all the ones we have now because they don't lay as many eggs, and they're a pain in the ass. The ones we have, they've gotten so used to being around the house. Those little turds like to come up and shit right in front of the doors. Sometimes they'll come and poop in the house. Jay Dyer's in the chat. What's up, Jay? How's it going, dude? Big shout out to Jay. Thanks for the super chats the other night. That was a good, or I think it was the other day, not the other night. It was a great stream. Jay was in the chat. One of the best YouTube channels out there. So, yeah, chicken liver versus beef liver. Beef liver all the way. Right? Sheep liver is really good. My buddy Carnival has some goats. I like goat liver too. Donkey liver is actually pretty good. Most people are never going to try that. Look at Jay. Thanks for Jay sending the super chats. Look at that. Money bags, Jay over there. Thanks, dude. Really appreciate it, man. Appreciate all the super chats you guys been sending. If you guys want me to answer any questions, anything you want me to hit on, nondescript, appreciate that. I'm going to copy this and paste it into my Skype so that I'll send a message to Jessica to remind myself to look into whatever, what was this guy's name? Johnny Juicer. Johnny Juicer sounds like a real degenerate. All right. So yeah, Ellen. There was recently some controversy about little Ellen DeGeneres and how much shit she used to talk on George W. Bush, but now they're BFF, right? And people are acting all surprised, like, oh my goodness, Ellen, why is she so friendly with George W. Bush? I thought they weren't friends, right? He's got the famous pictures from Abu Ghraib torturing people projected behind Ellen, who's good friends with George W. Bush. Right? She tried to get some of this stuff removed from the internet. She was real pissed about it. But it's so funny when you see these mainstream media, these people that are highly critical of other people within their kind of peer circle. Ellen DeGeneres, really good friends with Hillary Clinton. You know, she was actually a liaison for the Clinton Foundation, spreading awareness about AIDS. Right, the Clinton Foundation, which is, giant scam. But we've got here Michelle Obama and George W. Bush. They're BFF too. They just get along so well. But Obama, he was such a rebel president, right? He was going to change it all, right? And Bush, bad Bush, and Obama. Oh wait, they're BFF now. Lady Obama's real good friends with George W. Bush. Check them out. At Poppy Bush's funeral. No, it's John McCain's funeral. Excuse me. Wrong warmongering neocon. John McCain's funeral. John McCain doesn't reach quite the level of war criminal that Bush Sr. has reached. Come on. Load video. McCain has a much less kill count, even than Obama. I mean, that's why McCain hasn't gotten a Nobel Peace Prize like Obama.
People online were moved by, do we have the video of this moment where apparently President Bush passed a mint or something to First Lady Michelle Obama. She said thank you. And then Brenna Williams, for instance, tweeted this. She'd say, I'd like to think that moments like this between W. Bush and Michelle Obama are what McCain was hoping for. What is it about this friendship between...
They don't show the video. Right? Oh, you got President Clinton. How dare you? Papa Bush is a good man. How dare you insult that man? Former head of the CIA, Papa Bush. Papa Bush helped me get in airplanes full of cocaine in Mena, Arkansas at the airstrip there. Right, so I mean, all these people, it's funny, right? Like, people are surprised that Ellen's going to be friendly with George W. Bush. Here's President Clinton talking about Poppy Bush, former head of the CIA, mass murderer.
It's been one of the great joys of my life, my friendship with him.
Yeah. Funny, right? So Ellen, pushing the vegan diet, doing what she's told. Doing as Ellen is told. Right. All right, let's move on a little bit. Let's see what we got here. So Ellen pushing veganism. I mean, I think one interesting angle on this too, which maybe I'll do another stream sometime. It'd be better if I had someone to bounce off. If Jay was here talking to me, it'd be a little bit funner conversation. But Ellen's been implicated in a lot of State Department liaison type stuff and the WikiLeaks documents. Ellen has been mentioned, and there are emails from Ellen, between Ellen and the State Department. They're right here. One of them. If Ellen DeGeneres in L.A. Cheryl Mills from the State Department. I spoke with her, and she said she would do whatever we asked. So full speed ahead. WikiLeaks documents implicating Ellen in a lot of sketchy little things here. Here we got Sony from the WikiLeaks documents from, I think this was in, what year was this? Might have been 2019. Might have been later on. Sony talking about doing some anti-Russian messaging. All right, so big media is an extension of the military-industrial complex. Big media, Hollywood, is essentially like a DARPA program when you really look into it. Jay's done a lot of good work talking about a lot of this stuff in his books, like Esoteric Hollywood 1 and 2. If you check out the Laurel Canyon book by Dave McGowan, Strange Scenes Inside the Canyon, really interesting history there. But no surprise that Ellen's going to be pushing veganism. No surprise that Beyonce and Jay-Z are going to push veganism. No surprise that all these degenerate rappers who are talking about eating booty, putting pee-pee in the poo-poo, all of them are going to push the veganism. All right? Because, why? Because they do what Big Banks tell them to do. Because spreading degeneracy is how you can control people. Spreading degeneracy is how you can distract people. Spreading malnourishing diets and removing people's most viable sources of nutrition is a way that you can control them and depopulate them. All right, now I've got another one pulled up here. We can maybe do another like 45 minutes or so. We keep going. What do you guys think? You guys want to keep going? You want to keep going? It's been a fiery stream so far. I'm waiting for the Osho. Robert Roska is waiting for Jade Dyer, Badman Jade Dyer and Boltman Bad to do Osho talk. We talk about Osho, how he make boom boom in so many ladies' punanis, how he make boom boom big in punanis, how he bring so many women to his cult, right? And had all surveillance cameras all around his cult, surveilling all the members of his cult, which were being infiltrated, obviously, by intelligence agencies. And Osho knows that if you speak slowly, you will lull people into a state of semi-hypnotic suggestibility, and you can use twilight language to influence their subconscious. Osho used all the methods of MK Ultra programming in order to get huge harem of Western bitches that he put him pee-pee into many time, because you are a god. You are all gods. I am a god. You are all gods as well. But I am a better god than all of you. So I need you to give me all of your money and eat a vegetarian diet. So you will be slightly malnourished, but not so malnourished that I do not want to make boom boom in your booty. Not that malnourished. So we do not go vegan. We go vegetarian in the Osho cult. The Rajnishis, we are vegetarian, and we dress up in ritualistic garb, and we also do huge orgies with Aleister Crowley style hype ritual to make ourselves in highly suggestive state and make boom boom in each other so many times. And also I sterilize all the males of my cult because I do not want them to procreate with all of my harem bitches. So peace, love, rock and roll, and Rajnishis for all. We will take over all of Oregon until the FBI handlers and CIA handlers tell us that the show is over. Goodbye. I go put pee-pee in the poo-poo now. That is Osho. Peace, reflections. How many viewers did we lose during that rant? How many 20 people had to leave during that. Imagine jumping in during that. All right. So, what's happening, guys? Let's come over here. You guys want to keep going? I'm not seeing any super chats. I'm just going to start demanding super chats to keep going. My jaw is getting tired. I'm flapping all the time. The kids are out with grandma and grandpa and their mama. We're going to go get some food a little bit later. I'm going to go meet up with them soon. But I could do a little bit more. But where are those super chats at? Let's throw some super chats, y'all. Throw some super chats. Tristan versus Hench. Tristan versus Hench. Where's Hench? Where's Hench? All right. We'll do some more. But you guys got to keep them super chats rolling if you want me to keep going. Come on. You know this is going to get demonetized. We talk too much truth in this not to get demonetized. Not to be demonetized. We drop golden nuggets from butthole of Osho. Ellie Goodgal, thank you very much for $9.99. If you give more super chats, you will be enlightened forever. And you also can come to my cult where I will tell your husband he have to leave. So I take you and all other women for myself. And also we have giant orgies in Osho cult. Thank you. Please send all money to Osho so he buy 200 Rolls Royces and huge fur coat so he can dress up like Star Trek villain. We need Jay Dyer to come on and be Terrence Mc. The mushrooms. If Osho would take the mushrooms, then he would have become truly enlightened, because the mushrooms give you the flesh of the gods. No, I gotta hear Terrence again. He's got that Terrence on point. I can't do it justice. The mushrooms. If you understand what the mushroom's message is, the mushroom's message is that if you stop procreating and only put the pee-pee in the poo-poo, then we can solve the overpopulation crisis, because the self-transforming machine elves have given us all the knowledge that we need in order to create a perfect, ordered society where we all go to Burning Man and live in polyamorous relationships and eat the mushroom. If I just do accents, I don't have many more accents, guys. Ellie, thank you. Who else we got here? Vince C. Where's CHS? Is that like, that's not Czechoslovakia, is it? Feeling so enlightened right now. Well, you are enlightened if you just eat the mushrooms and put the pee-pee in the poo-poo. Let's see what else. Mr. Deviant, California, or no, not California. California doesn't have its own currency yet, but when it is, it'll probably be minted from hobo shit. That was Canadian dollars, $3. Thanks a lot. Natty Mulkey sending 20 ducats. What up, dude? Jay Dyer just throwing his wrench out there with a ha-ha. I love seeing Jay's name because as I'm doing Terrence McKenna and I hear it start to devolve into like a gay Southern accent, I'm just wishing I had Jay here to do a proper Terrence McKenna, because his is on fleek. Judas Roma, what up, dude? He says, would you let Frankie Tufano on your channel again? You mean Fwanky? Fwank Frufano? No. Nah. Maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens, you know. Maybe if he does some more workout videos, we could feature some clips on how to do a proper vegan workout and make those vegan gains like Flank. The Michael, what's up, dude? Says, what the hell is a super chat? New to this. It's this thing that YouTube does, man. It's like, hey, you get, when the video actually gets demonetized, you don't get ad revenue from it. But when you guys are throwing those super chats, it's like, it's cool. I mean, you get to actually, you get the person who you're watching, they'll read your comment. And if you are lucky, they will read it in Osho voice. Tess, Canadian $20.99. Can you describe in detail what raw liver tastes like and what it tastes like cook? I'll be trying it out raw next week. Tess, if you want to eat liver, the best way to consume it first might be cooking. Saute in butter. I can't keep going. If there's something funny to talk about, you can do the Osho voice, but there's nothing funny to talk about liver. Raw liver, I like raw liver how it tastes, right? Raw liver tastes really good. I love it. It's sweet. It's really sweet. I like the taste of raw liver. I'm a fan. But if you're just starting out, you probably want to cook it. You probably want to cook it. Cook it, saute it in a little bit of butter. Or you can make a pate. Liver pate. A lot of people really like liver pate. Check it out. I always forget to plug the book. And I shouldn't forget to plug the book because the book helps a lot of people. The Carnivore Cookbook. The Carnivore Cookbook, 0 carb recipes for people who really love animals. There's a whole section on how to prepare organs in here. So we teach you how to make things like sauteed liver, which is real simple, but also how to use liver in other recipes. Like another way to use liver is if you grind up a little bit of it and make meatballs. It can be real good. Liver pate can be great. We show you how to make all this stuff in the Carnivore Cookbook. Check out, there'll be a link down in the description below. It's for people who really love animals, like Leo Venus and John Venus. So yeah, buy a copy. Buy an extra copy for John Venus. Buy an extra copy and burn it over Osho's grave. Buy 10 copies. Give them to all your vegan friends that you don't have, because vegans are insufferable and no one wants to be around them. All right, guys. What else going on here? What else you guys want to talk about? You guys want to do more Q&A? What do you want? More Q&A? I don't know. I'm out of accents. I'm out of impressions. I spent like an hour and a half doing John Venus and Leo Venus terrible impressions. Yeah, Tess. Hope that helps. Move on to the topics. Yeah, we're going to move on. We got to move on. Moving on. All right, so we've got all this pushback happening now to this vegan agenda, which is really nice to see. All right, we've got a lot of, look at the viewership dropped off with all the accents. That's fine. The viewership dropped off, but you guys were sending the super chats. Some of you were entertained, some of you didn't give a shit, or maybe someone else is streaming that we know. Who knows? Yeah, that meandered. But here we go. Next topic. Where's that at? Next topic, we're going to hit on the pushback to all this climate craziness. If I can find my dang window. Okay, I'm going to close this one. I'm going to minimize this one. I got to find this. Where's that window? This is weird. I'm not able to find my window. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pushback. There it is. Switch to tab. Pulled it up. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pushback that we're seeing to this whole vegan agenda. All right? Where is this stuff coming from? Why is this being pushed on the world? Right? Yes, we can sit and laugh about vegans. We can laugh at Leo Venus being smug and taking the fake high road while doing everything he accuses the people he's shitting on of doing, providing zero facts, zero factual evidence to refute the claims of Baker, and basically just calling Bobby a meanie pants bigot who hates women. We could talk about that all day. Hey, it's funny, it's entertaining, but what's really going on here? What is the real agenda behind this? Well, it is, as we talked about before, a consolidation of resources and power play that's being pushed on us. Veganism is an extension of this whole climate crisis movement that we see now, which is bankrolled by the big international banks, by the Fortune 100, by the IMF, and these policies that they're getting these other nations all around the world to implement are meant to decrease the population, are meant to create tightly controlled smart cities where people live in a socially engineered smart city grid where every piece of information they receive is rationed to them through AI, where every single thing that they do has a social credit score that is calculated for them by AI, that is programmed by, of course, the big banks, the Fortune 100 corporations who want to provide you with everything you need, right? Except, of course, a rational, intelligent, coherent worldview that can actually ground the reasoning behind this huge push for consolidation of power. They'll give you everything you need except anything you need, right? Except the truth, right? They'll omit God. They want to completely remove God from society. They want to completely remove every single vestige of the past order where people were able to provide food for themselves, and they want to get rid of what they consider the peasantry. They want to get rid of the rural people who have always been pesky little producers of food who don't know their place, right? We should all, according to these economic elite, live in a smart city in 2030 where we own nothing, have no privacy. But don't worry, life's never been better in this smart city hellhole. Natalie Knight for $5. Thanks a lot. I did a green juice enema to clean my doo-doo. I feel enlightened and ready for a Caucasian yoni. What's that? Natalie Knight, thank you. Green juice enema to clean your doo-doo. And now you're ready for pee-pee and poo-poo. Is rice healthy? Depends on the context, right? Some rice can be contaminated with a lot of lead. There can be a lot of lead in rice. There can be lead contamination. Doesn't mean all rice is bad. What I would say is if you're going to eat rice, don't eat the brown rice. Eat white rice. White rice is actually a pretty legitimate carbohydrate source. I don't think it's bad. Some of these wild rice varieties, some people do really well with. But the whole brown rice and whole grains thing is kind of nonsense. I should have took these out long ago. These things are annoying, but I think I might use them, so I'll leave them in. So yeah, let's talk about it. 2030, I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. This is written by Ida Auken. Ida Auken is a technocrat bureaucrat from the EU, from Denmark. We're going to go through this article, which we've talked a little bit about before. Of course, there's Christine Lagarde with blood on her hands, talking to Trevor Noah, shilling on the Daily Show. But here's Ida Auken.
So this change from product to service is pushing a lot of this, of the circular economy, because the second the business owns the products, they start designing them in a way where everything can be taken out and reused. And then you get the incentives rights. And the fourth is...
So she kind of slips that one in there. These people are pushing for what's called a circular economy, where you rent your shit, right? So instead of you owning your iPhone, she says, I don't want to own a phone. I just want to use it. All I care about is that the phone can be used. So I don't care if Apple still owns my phone. I don't care if Apple has ownership rights on my computer. I just want to rent it, and then they can reuse it or take it from me if I get too low on my social credit score. Or if I say a naughty word in private messages, or a naughty word when I'm alone in my apartment, in my coffin apartment that's fully surveilled. If I say one of those naughty words, maybe Apple can take my iPhone. So this is the smart city grid that they're planning, right? It's a complete consolidation of power on the planet so that they can herd people into these very, very densely populated urban zones and socially control them completely. They want to raise food using drones. They want to get rid of the rural populations who they see as pesky little peasants. This is what it's about. Abolishing private property, creating a system where you are completely dependent on the global corporate elite for everything you consume, where you answer to centralized AI that is programmed by these corporate banking elite. That's what it's all about. That's what the smart cities are about. That's what climate action now is all about. And they want to feed you a diet of Soylent kibble. This is like some THX 1138 shit that they're going towards, and they want you to be out in the streets, and they've convinced a lot of you to be out in the streets demanding this shit. Demanding it. Natty Mulkey, what's up, dude? Thanks for the $10. Generous super chat there. Says, considering Saturn is the god of agriculture, it's not surprising to see vegan products like Satan and companies like Morningstar Farms. Hey, there you go. I always thought that painting is interesting about Saturn consuming his children. That's a very popular among the elite. Yeah, the little Saturn thing. Definitely interesting, isn't it? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. You guys keep this afloat. The viewers out there who are watching this, who are sharing this, and who are giving those generous super chats, you guys make this worth it for us, right? Because this It's not, first of all, it's not easy to talk about. Most people don't want to hear about this shit. And second of all, this shit gets demonetized. So spending half a day doing a stream like this, hey, you guys send those super chats, it does make it worth it as far as the workload goes. So thanks a lot, everybody out there. Let's get back to it. She wants a circular economy, right? And she wrote this: I own nothing, I have no privacy, and life has never been better. Let's hear what else this is all about.
The whole sharing economy. So if we start to share things, we can produce much better things that are used much more intensely.
So like if we can just share our children, if we just share our sexual partners, we can create situations and relationships that are just so much more beneficial for everybody. So if you just like ask your husband's boyfriend if he will share you, and you can share each other, and we can all stop breeding and having babies and stop owning things, and we can all just be shared.
Think about a car. Do you know how much a car drives? How much of its life? 4%. 4% is how much a car drives. Or if you take a drill, it's used 15 minutes. It's not a lot, is it? And most of us, I know there are some guys here that really love to own a drill. But for the rest of us, we just want a hole in a wall, right? And I think we're going to a place where we just want mobility, where we don't care so much about owning a car. It's actually a little bit of trouble. If you just come to driverless car and pick me up, and I can drive around, and this car will be driving all the time. So I think...
So they don't want you to own vehicles. They want driverless cars. All right, and how do you have access to this? Well, you have access to this through social credits. All right, through a social credit system that people like Ida Auken are promoting, that the World Economic Forum is promoting. The World Economic Forum, if we look on their front page, their most recent stuff, guarantee you it's all climate crisis. It's all climate crisis, bullshit rhetoric, the burnout pandemic. No, that's not climate crisis. That's what these people talk about. That's what these people are talking about. Removing you from the land, creating smart cities. Man on a mission to rescue India's rice diversity. I mean, a lot of these things sound kind of nice. Right? Oh, rice diversity. Well, when you look at the World Economic Forum, at the members of these big economic groups, they're the ones who are pushing the GMOs on the world. They're the ones who are pushing these consolidated patented seeds on everybody. They want the circular economy.
We are moving to this, and also because of information technology, it's now possible to share things in a much more intelligent way, where we don't feel all the time that this is something that we cannot trust, or something that is a little bit dirty, or something that, I mean, car share for a long time was a problem because people left stuff in the cars and was a little bit disgusting. But now, you rate people, so you don't leave stuff in the car, you just behave better. So the information technology...
So she's talking about the social control mechanisms of rating everybody. Everybody will be rated. Everybody will be rated. Your social credit scores. Oh, we might have to take a few social credit scores from Tristan because he was making fun of poor Leo Venus, and that will increase the carbon footprint because Leo Venus had so much stress from the mean, bad, bald man Tristan talking mean about him. Right? And what this is the consolidation of power by the so-called free market, all right, that they want to open up all of the third world to, that whenever a country closes itself up to economic exploitation by these groups, the IMF will try and break them with a dictator or a terror regime and then give them loans so that they can purchase more of these items directly from the Fortune 100 companies that are taking their resources and that want to create this crazy global control grid.
It has made it much more easy to share things and much more easy to distribute. And I think the second we get driverless cars, and we know they are out there, and they're on the street, why should it be standing still 96% of the time? It will start driving. And when the car has such a high value, because it's driving all the time, of course you design it in a way that everything can be taken out. I know Apple are looking at their phones now to see if they can get out all the rare earth materials, the gold, the silver, everything. Because if you take a pile of electronic waste, it has more gold in it than a gold mine does. So we're just losing it at the moment. So the second we start to use things much more intensely, and we will do that with the sharing economy, I think this will also push the idea that we will have no more waste. So I hope that I have convinced you, because now I'm moving to my fourth point. Who? It's you guys. You're the ones that are going to make this happen. So
yeah, you guys are the ones who are going to ask for this, because the economic interest will make it seem like you want this. We want to convince you that this is what you want and need. So, Ida Auken, the sharing economy.
Ida, you have a you know, a kind of more of a, I guess, a humanistic take on cities, and what do you think about this?
Well, I think the city is a very interesting place. Like Carlo is saying, it's a very interesting place where we can actually do many things at the same time. If we do it right, we can do something that's good for people, for environment, and the economy. So for me, this is really the place of solutions. But I also think that we have to look at the current situation. And with the elections in US, with Brexit, looking at my own country, looking at what might happen in France, there's a clear divide between the urban and the rural population. There's a divide between city and land, where I have to look back at and see what we did. And I think we were so busy globalizing, urbanizing, modernizing, that we kind of forgot those who got left behind, those who sort of felt that everything was coming out of their local communities, that town halls were closed, that police stations were closed, shops were closed. We kind of forgot them, or we didn't care enough for them. So I'm really concerned of how we can make like a new connection between city and land. How can we actually find out how much we need each other? Because actually the city cannot exist without the land. The city cannot exist without anybody producing our food, producing energy. In Denmark, a lot of the export production industry is actually in the rural areas. So we really got to go back to not having this fight between city and land, and try.
See, these people know what's coming, and they know that what they're creating, they want to create an intentional divide so that the people in the cities are so brainwashed, decadent, and distracted that they won't even realize that they are marching for the destruction of, and basically bankrolling this with their own tax dollars, the destruction of the rural areas and the destruction of your ability to feed yourselves and to live outside of these cities. So they want to make it to where everybody is tightly controlled in these cities. They call it digital inclusion. Right? They want digital inclusion. They want digital inclusion for everybody on the planet to be included in the smart city grid. They want everybody there. And this ties in with transhumanism. This ties in with Extinction Rebellion. And they know damn well that what they're doing is the genocide of the rural populations. They want to only have people breeding in cities. And ultimately, the goal is, just like in Brave New World, they want all births to be done in the lab. They want to control all human breeding, which is why they're rolling out this propaganda now about lab-grown babies. They want to feed you lab-grown meat, but just enough to keep you barely alive. They want to feed you nutrient-fortified GMO kibble, but just enough to keep you barely alive and barely able to cognitively recognize what's happening around you. And they want to give you a completely dehumanized, completely destructive, hellish world, a vegan dystopia, a high-tech control grid utopia. It's going to be sold to you. But really, it's just a big pile of steaming, dehumanizing shit. But they want people to be asking for this, and they use words like a sharing economy, meaning you own nothing, and that what you have and what you do have access to is what's given to you by the global technocratic state. Which is, of course, this whole thing is being bankrolled and promoted by big capitalism, right? Everybody talks about, oh, this is communism, right? Well, even Marx said that monopoly capitalism is the vehicle that they're going to push the final revolution, the communist revolution, which Huxley coined the term the final revolution, right? Brave New World, he said, is the final revolution. And it's complete. And it's every aspect of life, including biology, including human breeding. And these people understand that the biggest threat to their bullshit utopia is the rural populations, which is why they want to replace them with drones and machines to grow you food, and they want to rewild the areas, meaning they want to get all of us off the land. They want to crowd us into these cities And that's what Agenda 21, Agenda 2030 is. And that's why this is all being tied up together with a nice little bow by the big banks, by the global elite, who are pushing you little teenage human shields in front of us to push this agenda. And they say, oh, if you don't, what do you hate, children? Right? You don't want to accept this dehumanizing dystopia? You must hate the kids. You must hate the animals. You're killing the planet by being alive. The only reason they're able to do this is because people are so dumbed down with the philosophical gobbledygook bullshit pop culture that they're given. Right? You're given pop culture worldviews. You're told that you're just a consumer, that the best thing you can do is be accepted by society. Right? You're given public education. You have UNESCO, which was started by Julian Huxley, a eugenicist who wanted to depopulate. He was the brother of Aldous Huxley. They were both the sons of Thomas Huxley. Right? T.H. Huxley was Darwin's bulldog. It was their grandfather, T.H. Huxley, Darwin's bulldog, who actually reared and mentored H.G. Wells, who wrote openly about what they're doing now, what we're seeing right now. So check out, like we talked about earlier, Jay Dyer does the Globalist book series, does a really good job at breaking down the central dogmas of the ideology of globalism, of the ideology of the international elite, who are consolidating resources and power and getting us to beg them to do it because they tell us that we're going to save the planet if we just give up all our good foods, if we just become social engineered, soylent, slop-consuming, polyamorous, childless, familyless drones to be programmed by our smartphones and our smart city devices. This is what it's all about. This is the end game. It's not about saving the planet. It's not about stopping the global warmings. It's about domination. Full spectrum dominance, they called it. And this is why we have these Extinction Rebellion goofballs. Extinction Rebellion protesters pour fake blood over New York's capitalist bull. What these people don't realize is what they're doing is far more than just simple street theater. What they're doing are actually rituals. These people are involved in a ritual here, which is then beamed out over the world, all over the planet, as they cover themselves in blood and lay down under the bull, representing the bull market, ball, capitalism. They say it's capitalism that it represents, but that's not all it represents. Look at this image. People willingly sacrificing themselves at the altar of the Fortune 100, who is bankrolling this fake revolution and pushing all this degeneracy on us. Extinction Rebellion loses control of fake blood hose. This is the Animal Rebellion group. Tried to spray 1,800 liters of liquid at a 100-year-old building, but they lost control of the jet. Their weak little vegan arms couldn't even hold it. And they sprayed blood all over themselves. How apt that the blood is all on their hands. Because these are the useful idiots of the international elite who are pushing this dehumanizing agenda, who are doing this ritualistic street theater that's meant to dehumanize us. And they're paving the way to actually have real blood in the streets as they dehumanize the people in the rural areas, the people who actually make their food. All right, let's see. We've got a couple super chats here. What up, Dusty Fox 20A? What is that? Is that Australia? I think Australia usually does AUS, but appreciate it, man. Much appreciated. Said thanks for putting in the work and getting this message out there, mate. Keep it up. Mate, thank you. If you're Australian and you put mate in it, I know. So now I know that the A is Australia. I thought it would be AUS. Thank you for the donation, man. Really appreciate the super chats. Like I said before, you guys are what keep these streams alive. All right, you guys are the ones that keep this alive, because YouTube ain't sending any revenue here for all this content we put out. So thank you. Really appreciate it. You guys over there in Australia, you got quite the battle ahead of you. Zach Ramey, 10. Australian dollars, I think. Says Leo went on his brother's channel and said he was going to take down Bart in a debate. Remember? Bart said, let's go, and Leo disappeared into exile without a word. What a surprise. But now Leo's back. He's making videos. Maybe he'll actually do a debate with somebody. Maybe he'll come on and debate me. Maybe he'll debate Shawn Baker. Maybe I can get Leo on to debate Shawn Baker on my channel. That'd be fun. Let's make it happen. Make it happen, guys. Leo and Shawn Baker debate. That'd be fun. Real doctor, sewed up people in the battlefield versus Leo, who just got that DR in front of his name. Fresh, young Leo. All right, so commuters who attacked Extinction Rebellion tube protesters could face police investigation. What happened here? What happened here? Let's check it out. What's going on?
Hi guys, we're Extinction Rebellion. We're here at Canning Town Station. Here we have government. This action is not targeted to disrupt people on the tube. This action is targeted at government. The activists here are expressing their rage, their frustration. We do not enjoy disrupting passengers on the tube, but they're...
All right. Well, aren't these electric trains too? Aren't these electric? These people are... All right. This is aimed at the government, they say, right? They're petitioning the government. They want the government to do something. What do you want the government to do? What do you want the government to do? You're not even clear about this. You're not even telling them what you want. All you're doing is disrupting middle-class people's transport. Look at these guys.
Here.
People are pissed. Here you go. Look at it. That guy just kicked that guy. Yeah, get him off of there. Get out of here. Uh-oh. There's another one. It's the same one. It's the same one. This is what these people are doing. How they're LARPing the streets. Veggie dance. They believe there's an animal holocaust going on, and this is what the Animal Rebellion does. They demand that their government give them a plant-based food system. These middle-class people are done. They're sick of this shit.
Gotta go to work. Get the fuck out the way. Get the fuck out the way. Go. Get the fuck out of here.
That guy's a nurse. That guy's trying to go work at a hospital. Says, get out of here. Says, get out of here. You people are not protesting against the elite. You're not protesting against the government. You're protesting for the government. You're protesting for your bankers. You're protesting for the Fortune 100. This is the best. This is my favorite. And this is what's being fomented and created. They want this. They want this type of reaction. All right, but a lot of people are standing up, and you're not seeing this in mainstream media at all. But what's going on in the Netherlands right now are the farmers are pissed. Just like in Ecuador, where we had the entire nation shut down, all the transport workers, all the indigenous people who grow the food, had a huge strike because the government was imposing these austerity measures that are dictated by the IMF for a loan that they didn't need to take. In Ecuador, we had a similar situation. The whole country was shut down. The government ended up caving to some of the demands of the people. In the Netherlands, the media seems to be silent about this, as they tell these farmers that they have to cut their livestock in half as they start to impose these austerity measures on the Western world. This is the response. The farmers are pissed. They're being dehumanized in the media. They're being demonized, and they're being called useless eaters. Well, guess what? The rural people are the ones who make your food. You know what the indigenous leader said here in Ecuador? I thought it was pretty funny. He said, I forget the exact context of it, but in the context of this, I think it's really interesting. He said, you know what? We produce the food. The oil's on our land, right? All these resources that you want, we're the guardians of this. And he said, we don't have 4-lane highways coming in and out of our places. We don't have 4-lane highways coming in and out of our land like you do in Quito and Guayaquil, which is an interesting thing to say. I'm not sure where he's going with that. But look what the farmers did to these 4-lane highways. They shut it down. They put their tractors there. So you're not hearing about this in the media because the media is there to distract you. The media is there to tell you to put the pee-pee in the poo-poo, to laugh at stupid shit, to give you childish, useless idiocy so that you can masturbate yourself to it while they take your resources from under your feet. They blocked all the major highways. No one told you about their motivation in the media. The farmers gave harsh climate change and environmental protection laws as their primary goal, also complaining about being treated as lower class scum by media elites. The media ran with the latter. Look at that. All those tractors. So at least some people are standing up. These people do not want to be dehumanized. They don't want to be demonized. And they produce your food. They're not going to be eliminated. Look at that. Several politicians try to go address them. And I'm sure politicians will try to co-opt these movements. They always get co-opted, right? In South America, they get co-opted by NGOs, environmental NGOs, and Marxists. Populist movements in the West get divided up and demonized in different ways. But we're seeing big mobilizations of people that are very upset. Remember in Paris, the whole yellow jacket phenomenon happened because the rural people were very upset because they tried to increase the price of fuel because it's green. They want to increase the price of all your goods. They want to increase the price of the cost of living. And they want to make everybody poor so that they can ultimately get rid of most of us. And they're open about this. These farmers are pissed. Apparently the military was brought into some of these places. Look at this. Are you being told about this in Europe? Are you being told about this in the U.S.? No. You're not being told about this. You're not being told about what happened in Ecuador when the people forced their government to concede, when the government was threatening a full-on genocide, trying to push the military and the police to slaughter the people who stopped the entire nation. People are not going to allow. Look, here we got the state deploying the police and army to block off major roads. They're having to mobilize the military to stop this. So this is what's going on. I think we're going to start wrapping it up, guys. It's been a couple hours. I think starting to rain outside. And I'm going to go give my kids a ride. I'm going to go pick up my family. And we're going to go enjoy some dinner. But it's been really nice hanging out, guys. If you guys got any last questions, any last super chats you want to hit on. Also, I think I'm going to make a Discord. I've been not doing this for the last year because every single month we do our Keto and Carnivore Collective where we have a private Discord server that we do our group coaching in. It's really awesome. It's really fun. We have got our next meeting on Monday morning. We do 2 live voice chats per week in the Keto and Carnivore Collective. It is our group coaching where we offer not only our own support, but you get to support each other. We got 2 lessons per week, or 1 lesson per week, and then 1 Q&A. It's a 4-week program. We do this almost every month. You can sign up for the next one now, but we're going to make I think I'm going to make another Discord server, like a free Discord server, so that we can have some communication in there too. So many people send me like funny vegan videos, interesting news clips and stuff. I had some stuff from Sweden right now where we got MPs in Sweden actually talking about rationing meat to you, talking about banning and rationing meat now openly, right? So this stuff is going full steam. So I think we might make another Discord server, like a free one sometime soon. I'll announce that next week when we do it. Make sure to check out the Keto I'm sorry, the carnivore cookbook, which is keto as well. The carnivore cookbook for people who really love animals. That's available at primaledgehealth.com. There's a link down in the description below. I want to thank the people, the generous people, the patrons who support us. There is an option to support us monthly via PayPal. We might end up doing a Patreon. I'm not a big fan of the company, but it might be necessary just to keep this afloat as we spread the word and spread the message and are consistently demonetized, are consistently attacked by these algorithms that want to get this information out of the public sphere. They don't want this information getting out, and they have very effective means at discrediting and distracting you from it. So thank you for the people who've donated, made generous donations via PayPal. We really appreciate that. You guys can find more at primaledgehealth.com down below. Remember, you weigh more than what you eat. I'm out of here. Peace.
You raise the sense of urgency around climate change. You seem serious.
I'm excited to bring.
What up's Reflections? I am not a bigot. I am ready to save the planet by doing exactly what the big banks tell the TV screens to tell us to do. I feel so empowered on my #vegan journey. Join us as we chant empty slogans for #climate action written by PR firms. We need to save the earth and demand a global totalitarian technocratic government run by big finance and the Fortune 100. Our house is on fire and we need the nice grown-up government to take everyone's land and resources and ration us delicious, sustainable, nutrient-fortified vegan kibble. This is an emergency. Mommy Earth is crying so sad because she wants the mean grown-ups to give poor little 16-year-old human shield Greta her future back.
Do you have anything to add to these debates about just, in particular, the idea that it's kind of too expensive to deal with climate change?
I mean, the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean,
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide and was working alone. Veganism is desirable and fun and make me smile big happy on my insides. I do not hate children. I am not a science denier. I do like science. To fix the #climate crisis we need to sterilize ourselves, starve ourselves, eat babies and grandma and move to a social engineered #smart city to save the earth. There is no time to examine the inconsistencies in our claims or actions or the billions of dollars being leveraged to brainwash us into thinking we want this. We want #climate action now and a #plant-based food system of sustainable fortified kibble. We are not being used. We are truly empowered and full of energy that we are using constructively. We are so empowered and not deceived.
We all share the same values, so we just need to align those values with our actions and join forces. We all want the same thing. We want to see an Earth in the next 50 years.
the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean, if there's something we are not lacking in this world, it's money. And I mean, of course, people do lack money, but I mean, governments and these people in power, they do not lack money.